you guys doing? This is Hybridsteel, and welcome back to Gold Rush, day 5 in the leaderboards. And you know, it's getting near winter. Basically, it's going to get cold, and the colder it gets, the more I'm going to start pushing towards getting rid of my equipment, because obviously it's getting cold, which means things start freezing, things start breaking, and dealing with that. So thankfully, most of the stuff I use is rented, so I can just disappear it and take it all apart. So I think we've got like 8 days left of autumn, and then it's into the winter period, so that means that's when we're going to get rid of all the stuff, and then we're going to move over to Nighthawk. So that's the plan. People are starting to like disappear me off the leaderboard now, and I'm like, okay, it's happening. Everyone's moved already to like Nighthawk, and now the money starts rolling in. So I'll be there eventually. I'll get there. It's coming slowly but surely. We're getting there. Anyway, so yeah, all I've got to do is keep digging. I did a little bit last night, like I always do, after streams and so on and so forth. I'll just show you where I'm up to. We're all good. Crisis, sweet. How you doing? Welcome, by the way. So I'm up here now. I'm literally just on the back turn, so we're doing okay. Just don't fall in the hole, and we'll be fine. Doing all this reversing stuff at night, very, very dangerous, especially next to a big hole. And we are there. Yay. Right, cool. Let me just pull up my gold map, because I need to like highlight the next couple of bits I'm taking. Nogstream! How you doing, buddy? Thank you very much for kicking by. So we've got 175 ounces left in that one. We've got 213 left in that one. We've got 244 left in that one. There's 133 in that one, and there is, we're not going to worry about that, there's only 41 ounces. I might take this one because all the gold's on the top level, so that's not too bad. We'll be okay. Alright, cool. Gold Eagle, how you doing, sir? Thank you very much for kicking by. So yeah, the squares I'm going after are the ones I'm slowly moving through, so these ones now. And then this is literally the last load I'm doing, and then hopefully I'll get this done before winter, and then we can, we'll be alright. That's the plan. So let's start it up and start digging. Hope you guys are having a good day. I know it's morning where I am. I don't know what it is like for you guys. Hope you got Christmas planned. Hope the world is treating you nicely. I wouldn't say I'm dedicated. I'm just enjoying myself. That's just the joys of life. You just carry on. So today's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. I've actually got to head off by about 1:30. And I actually have to go at 1:30. I can't just be like, oh, I'll just leave it until a little bit later. I have to go at 1:30 because I've got to go and watch one of the kids' things down at the school. And I've got to do this tomorrow as well because my other kid's got a nativity play. So I have to watch a carol service today by my oldest child. And then I have to watch a nativity play by my youngest child. So joys of life. This is going to be the same for sports day. My kids are in different years, so different age groups. So one's in Key Stage 1, one's in Key Stage 2. So I'm going to have to go down in the morning and watch one load of like sports day. And then I'm going to the pub, and then I'll watch the other load of sports day. And I do not participate in Father's Day racing. And this is because I'm fat, and I will probably end up in the pub, and I won't be fit to drink. I won't be fit, so no way. Apart from that, I'm alright. Don't worry, I don't get absolutely hammered anymore. I'm too old to get hammered. I've always been to my kids' nativity, fella. Oh, you've already been? Oh, yeah. They did. So one of my kids did. They did one yesterday, and then they're doing one on Thursday. So it's the same thing. It's just that I couldn't go to the first one because you had to get tickets. Like even though they're free, it's just the hall's not very big at the school, so they have to split it up into like 2 separate amounts of people. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't mind, because the other one is like in the afternoon, which means I pick the kids up from school after the other play, which means they come home, and I don't have to make yet another trip down to the school to pick up my children. So it works out a lot easier. HJ Baker, thank you very much for kicking by. Most appreciated. First time chat, thank you. Glad you found the channel, or the Twitch channel on this one, because you're on Twitch. You're not in YouTube. YouTube's actually quieter this morning. And there's, yeah. Twitch is actually more people. That's amazing. But yeah, I'm up to 1.3 million. I've already been taxed for today. I've got 405 ounces of gold. I need to do one big cleanup, and then that's another like 200 and something ounces, depending on like how much I can get out of these spaces now, because this is like the last of the big gold. So yeah, this is why it's like the end of my season. If I can get these squares done up in the next 7 days, then we're okay. But we cut to the line. We cut the whole way. Don't forget, if you're on... Oh, no, what happened? No. Oh, that was wrong on so many levels. Don't forget, if you're on Twitch, you can use your free Amazon Prime subscription to subscribe to the channel. It's not you paying for the money, it's literally Amazon. So Jeff Bezos, not so much, but the guy that took over, yes. It's his money, not yours. Right, let me just get my truck lined up perfectly for the next time. So... should be about there next time. Anyways, apart from that, we're all good. Don't forget to like, subscribe, notification button below for all the updates. I know it's early. Like, I mean, it's 10 o'clock in the UK right now. So all the American people, man, you're crazy for getting up early. It's what, 4 o'clock in the morning? So are you going to buy tier 5 at the end of the season or get them both? So my plan is... I'm going to rent out... I'm getting enough money to rent Nighthawk, which I do have currently. Okay, so that's good. And then I'm going to buy a few bits of equipment and rent the rest. So I want to buy the things that I need. So mainly the D-Rocker. I know it's tier 4, but it'll be cheap. If I can get that and the trommel, that's $800,000 that I can spend, or maybe 700, depending on like price at the time. And then I'll rent the basic equipment like the conveyor belt, the hopper, and so on and so forth. And then we'll be over in Big Land, basically. And then over time, over that season, I'll be saving up to buy the actual land. And then the season afterwards, I'll be trying to actually buy it properly. One day to permafrost, whole of T4 cost at 600,000. So I've heard like this is various people telling me like I need to do this on the second day before permafrost. I need to do this the day before, like the day before the end of the season. I need to do this the day after permafrost. I don't actually know when it is, and I know there's a spreadsheet somewhere that tells me. I just haven't found it. So yeah, you should buy tier 5, then rent Nighthawk. Equipment is cheapest end of season, but claim price does not change. No, I know. So that's the thing. I want to see how much money I've got before then, and then work out roughly what I can afford. So that's the plan. So I don't. As I said, I haven't looked for this document that tells me when I should rent things and bits and pieces. But I don't know when the best time is, because I've heard like I've heard different stories from different people. Oh, you should do it here. You should do this. You should do that. And I'm like, nobody's actually given me like the same answer twice. So one person said I should do it 2 days before. One person says I should do it 1 day before, and one person did I do this. Oh, fudge off, model. Like, no. Oh, bot tricks, you git. Yeah, don't set right. So if you want to send me anything, like on Twitch, because bot tricks is a twat. It's a bot that basically monitor. It doesn't monitor so much, but it lets me know stats and bits and pieces. If you want to send me anything, yeah, send it to me on Discord. It's better. Like all links. If you're going to send me a link, send it to Discord. I can monitor it from there, and Botrix doesn't give up because Botrix is a wazzock. it's a good bot to have to do all the widgets and bits and pieces I have, but like apart from that, like it is a bit of a plonker. You send that to me now. Give me a sec. I'm just on Discord. Okie dokie, let's have a look. Gold Rush Google document. Let's have a look. Right. No, I was zooming past everything. Days till winter. Days till permafrost. Okay, so it is literally 1 day before. Okay. 1 day before. The conveyor belt's 23 grand. That's good. Conveyor belt, yeah, that's fine. Shaker is 59 grand. Okie dokie. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Tier 5 is interesting though. 700, a million, 1.3 million for the whole setup. Like for the main 3 things. And then obviously rent everything else. That's quite tempting, you know. I mean, I like the price of tier 4. Tier 4 is good because it's sort of good for me. But yeah, cheers, thank you very much, much appreciated. I'll keep that in mind. I mean, I've got 7 days left, so I am just gonna dig. And I've got rid of my stream thing. Is that middle price? Yeah, tier 4 looks good for me. I'm good. And basically, what I'll probably do is I'll just buy everything out. So I'll rent Nighthawk. I'll buy tier 4. And then the next thing after that would be to buy Nighthawk, because Nighthawk is, I don't want to keep getting charged for it, and the renting on Nighthawk is a bastard. So I'm going to want to get that as quickly as possible. I know it's like 2.4 million, but I think with Nighthawk's gold return it should be good enough. So, Mr. Games, how you doing, sir? That's the plan. And then obviously, like when I do another season mode, if I get around to doing it, it'll be like, okay, I need to, yeah, save to buy Nighthawk. That's the plan. Plan. I would say like Parcel 2, which is this. Well, this is Parcel 2. The gold's probably not as good, but like Parcel 3, you know, it might be better at some point. But I think that's the risk you take. Is like, I'm going to take this parcel and then not really know what's going to happen. So I think most people just go like Nighthawk. How's the grind going? I think I'm 17th. Like, people set me down a bit more. I'm 14th, there you go. But yeah, getting closer to autumn. Well, I'm in autumn, so getting close to winter. Somebody wants to work for me. Yeah, I'll pick it up when I go down. We're getting better. I'm on my second return now, so I've only got these 4 blocks to go. Like, these 4 are the last ones I need to clear, and then I can go. But it's getting there. If you run out of gold in this claim before, you can scratch up some gold from drilling. Yeah, that's sort of the plan. As said, I want to see how much money I've got. If it's going to cost me like 500,000 to rent the whole of tier 4, or buy tier 4, I've got enough money. You know, I can rent Nighthawk. I can buy tier 4s like big equipment, rent the small bits and pieces like the hopper and bit, and then I'm done. So I'll have enough. I should have enough money. I mean, I've got 7 days of digging left, and that's probably 4 cleanups. So that's going to be another $800,000. Maybe another mil, so we'll see. That's the plan. But yeah, I'm liking it, and I've got to be honest. I think after having like a little chat with myself and like trying to work out like the best way to do things and this, that, and the other. Like, and this is coming to a YouTube thing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do seasons on this channel. If I want to do another season, I can. And I know people want to come over and watch it. Like, Hydroneer dropped a bomb last night. It was like, yep, I sort of called it as well. And that's the funny part. I want to find the recording. So I know that I predicted it in the past of where I thought Hydroneer was going, and the screenshot that Max posted up last night, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much called. We're going to a new land, so I guarantee we're on a boat as well. Stretch for 3 million and get tier 5. If I can get 3 million, I will, but at the moment I'm currently sitting at 1.7. So, I mean, if I can get to 3 million, I would probably still go down the route of only getting tier 4 and buying Nighthawk, because then I don't have to pay rent. And that means more money for me. Me. Tier 5 is 1.6. Yeah, so I'm having two conversations on... Right, we're having conversations on two different platforms here. You guys can talk in chat. It's over there. You can read each other's chat. It's two different platforms. Argue amongst yourselves. YouTube versus Twitch. Fight to the finish. Who's got the best gold? Ah! Pardon me. Was including the 1.3 already. You will need 4 million to do it. Ooh. I don't know. A 2.4 for Nighthawk. I mean, if I went Nighthawk and tier 5, I'm going to need like 5 mil. So I'm thinking tier 4 completely and Nighthawk. So yeah, that's alright. I've got enough to do. But I've got enough to rent Nighthawk for a season, buy tier 4, and then go from there. And then just buy Nighthawk. Like I said, we'll see. I might go, fuck it, I'm just going to buy this, that, and the other, and it'll be fine. I might buy tier 5 trommel, and then the rest tier 4, because the tier 5 trommel we call, all the gravel jigs. Because the gravel jigs are, I'd probably scrap using the hog pans at that point, so I need like better gold collection at the end. Just need to get. I want to get one more cleanup done. I think. Oh no, I already did a cleanup this morning. That's why I'm up to 400,000. If I can get like another 12 buckets done with that. I did that as well, but I've added them back now. Fair enough. I think when I get to that point, I mean, I don't know when that's going to be. That might be like during the day today, or it might be tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow's stream might just be, hey, we're in winter now, and we'll go from there. I've got to fill up my truck. They actually make a difference. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking of. Like, if I was just going to get one thing of tier 5, it would probably be the gravel, the jigs. Because they're like the last part of like collecting gold. So, yeah. That's probably where I would head. And then if I just stick with the jigs for tier 5, the tier 4 trommel, so Old Arnold itself, we'll go from there. And then everything else can just be... renting's not too... I mean, 20 grand for rent for, like, basic equipment. I'm all right with that, you know? But as long as I can buy a few things, like, you know, I think that's what I need. But looking at it, I mean, if I can combine the D-Rocker, maybe Old Arnold trommel, and then the gravel jigs as well, that's not a bad setup. And it still runs on a water pump, which is more convenient for me. My brain goes water pump. I know I would need another 100 grand to build the water tower over there, and then get Glacier Creek, which is an extra like 300k on top of what I would need to spend. So the extra 400,000 on money is a bit of a pain in the ass. The shaker, yeah, well, the shaker's like the best thing ever. Like when it comes to like getting gold off of rocks, that's where your process starts. So that's why you have, like, if you look at a wash plant on Gold Rush, you've got like the hole where all the dirt goes. Then like the main thing is your shaker deck. If you can clean your rocks so there is nothing on them, you've done your job. So shaker is then the first part. Then it comes down to bits after. Then it's the moss mat. If the mats are good, and you shouldn't get any gold at the end of your runs. So that's where it goes. But your shaker is like the most important part. If you've got a bad shaker or a bad trommel, that's it. I mean, all you have to do at that point is watch Freddy Dodge Mine Rescue, and you see these problems, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's where the problems are. Don't tip. Yeah, that was close. Apart from that, it's all good. But yeah, I'll be streaming. I'm streaming tomorrow morning. And then, because that's Thursday. And then I've got Friday, which is another morning stream. Saturday is an evening stream, and that'll be for like 5-6 hours. And then Sunday is an evening stream. That'll be another like 5-6 hours. And then Monday through Friday next week is literally evening streams because my kids will be at home. So I'll be playing Gold Rush, because I'll be doing it between them being here and like doing on the tablets and TV and everything else, or doing art and, you know, reading, or yeah. So I'll be playing Gold Rush between them. So this is where it's going to start slowing down for me. It's like I've got to do it between my kids. If this was like a normal 6-week time during their school time, then yeah, that would have been really convenient for me. But obviously, because they're going to be away, they're going to be on half term. It's not going to be. So I can only do as much as I can. So right now I can put the time in, that's fine. During the weeks when they're here, I can put the time in during the week, but then it comes down to if they behave themselves or if they're doing stuff, that's fine. If they start beating each other up, then it sort of fails on time for me and my wife, because we're the unfortunates to have to deal with like scraps and fights and, oh, he poked me, so I punched him. Well, you shouldn't punch people. Well, he poked me. Okay, you shouldn't poke people, then you wouldn't start a fight. Happened this morning. I was like, Phil, you're on lack of gaming next week, working 70 hours next week. No, so gaming will be nearly zero. Yeah, I'm sort of, in an aspect, I'm sort of glad that I'm a full-time carer. I'm at home because I actually get this time. But on the other side of it, I mean, yeah, when I used to work, I never had time. Never. My average work week when I worked was about 60 hours. Well, it was between 60 and 67 hours, depending on what I was doing, and that was before I got married and had kids. So yeah, I know that. I know the harshness. And it's the Christmas period, so you're expected to do more. Oh, that sucks. You have my sympathies, man. You really do. Working Christmas Day is just bullshit. I hope the pay's good. Let's put it that way. It's the only way that I would work Christmas Day is if someone's going to pay me like a stupid amount on top of what I would normally have. I couldn't do it. Oh, double pay, that's good enough. When I used to work in a factory, we used to close for Christmas, so because like no one ordered anything over the Christmas period, and most of our customers were in like Europe, or there was some in America, but most of it was European about that point. And like our factory used to close for Christmas because no one did business. Everyone else was closed, so why the hell are we open? And if they were going to do double pay, I'd have been on. I mean, this was 7 years ago. So 7 years ago, I would have been on £22 an hour. So that would have been alright for me. I'd have done it. £22 an hour, weeks, you know, a couple of days, a day extra work. I'm alright. But like I said, that was 7 years ago. My pay actually wasn't for a minion job, which I call it a minion job because you never had to use your brain. You just autopilot the whole thing. It was an easy job, but I got paid all right for it. How you doing, Claus? But yeah, nowadays I'm on YouTube, and pay on YouTube sucks. Like, for what I do, I mean, my streams, I was looking at how much my stream earned through ad revenue alone, and my stream comes up at about £8 for a 5-hour stream. I'm like, yay, I'm on Ethiopian wages. So if you want to know how much a streamer gets with like X amount of views, I mean, those videos are hitting like 700 to 1,000 views a video, and I'm getting paid £9. Oh yeah, £9 for a day's worth of work. I would be better off making Nikes in China at this point. Bloody tired and I have to go to London. That sucks. I hate London. London, the place where everyone's a zombie because they don't care about cars. They just walk out in front of you and just hope you stop. I used to do zombie watching when I used to go. I went clubbing in London a couple of times because it was an alternative club. I was like, yes, metal. It was all good. I went to like Camden a few times as well. But I mainly taxied that because it was straight from the station to the gig. But like when you drive in London at night time, people don't care. And so the amount of times I've almost hit people in London because they don't really pay attention to traffic lights or cars. They just walk across the road and you're like, you're an idiot. And then most of these people are wearing black, you know, because it's night time and it's like, it's their coats and their office trousers. You can't see them. So all of a sudden there's a shadow in your headlights. I'm like, seriously, I'm going to kill somebody in London because nobody pays attention. It was awful. Everybody in London, if you're moving around at night time, you need to be wearing like high vis. Because when you walk across the streets and there's lights blaring everywhere, we can't see you. You're just a shadow. I mean, during the day, they just walk. You can see them. They're easier to avoid. Oh, gone are the days of clubbing. Gone are the days of going to gigs. It's mainly through choice though. I don't go because I can't afford to, but it's like too much travelling nowadays. In order to get to a decent gig, I have to go to London because there's nothing local anymore. There used to be like metal clubs nearby. There used to be, I mean, there's one place up at Gravesend, but again, I have to drive all the way to Gravesend just to go to a gig. What did you make in the factory? I was a diamond electroplater. So I used to cut blades, so metal blades that used to like dig through like concrete and bits and pieces and stone and things like that. And then we used to like measure out the blade depending on the job. And then I used to plate them with diamond. It's not worth a lot. I mean, a pot of diamond was worth like, I don't know, 500-600 quid because it was diamond grit. So these were crushed diamonds down to like a certain size. So you would work on the grit size we used to work on were anywhere between it was anywhere between sort of like 20 mil to like 40 mil. So the highest was like 2040. Yeah, industrial diamond, and we used to use synthetic as well. So we used to do a 20 mil grit and a 40 mil grit, and that was one mix, and that went all the way down to like tiny, like real grain of sand diamond. So it's depending on the job. So when we were making things for like Ferrari, our cutting blades were only like 15 mil. So they were tiny little blades. They were used for like skinning models of like when they were doing like new fiberglass stuff. So they would build, your drill size would be 15 mil, which is like this. Okay, and then you've got to put a grit on it that's able to just shave off millimeters of material just so they can get like a lighter bodywork for their Formula 1 cars and stuff. We used to make stuff for people who used to cut contact lenses, so they were known as what we call a flim blade, because it was real flimsy. It was like you could throw it across, it was a frisbee, but it was fecking dangerous. We used to do, there was a customer I used to work for, they owned a fish market, so we used to make fish blades, and that's what real imaginative names. And so they were like cut, the actual steel on those blades were only like 2 mil thick, so they were thinner than CDs and vinyl. And then we used to coat most of the blade in like a 400 by 600 grit of diamond, so it was so thin that the cut on the fish was like even. Like there was nothing wrong with it. You could eat your dinner off the diamond we used to use it. And then we used to make what we used to call a drum, and a drum blade is 1.5 meters wide. So this was the biggest thing I ever worked on. It was 1.5 meters wide, so it was massive. We had to customize the tank to plate it, and it was huge. And this thing, it took 4 days to plate because we couldn't do it all in one go, and there wasn't enough current to run through the tank. So we had to plate sections, and it used to take 4 days. So you take the whole thing, and then you rotate it once, and you plate one part, and then you turn it again. It used to take a couple of hours to do each side. So it took 4 days to do the whole thing. And then you had to plate the inside of it because it was used for digging manholes. So they used to bore through the road, through bedrock and everything just to build a sewer. And that's the sort of thing I used to make. My standard blade, if you ever watch, it's mainly just for construction stuff. So like angle grinders, that sort of thing. So that was just what I used to do. And then my uncle, when he used to work, because my uncle doesn't work no more, he can't. He's, I can't remember what's wrong with him. I think it's multiple sclerosis he has now. I can't remember. He used to do moulding. So for construction and bits and pieces. And then this place I used to work in, it was only this one factory in the middle of like the countryside in England, but the contracts we used to get through, you used to sit and just go, bloody hell. I mean, they're paying a lot of money for this stuff. So some of the people I used to work for were really high end, but the job was boring and mundane. But that's what I used to do. I could actually show you the company I used to work for. I can show you their products. Give me a sec. I can actually show you where I used to work. This is scary. Which display is that? It's this one. So this is where I used to work. This is just one section of the factory. I used to work at the back bench, and I used to do all my plating here. All these things along this bench here are all customized wheels for certain customers, and it was ridiculous what we used to put through. All up these sides are etching tanks, so they're all like sinks and acid. All these benches are used for electroplating. This is just some of the stuff I used to make. But yeah, that was CNC. So we used to use, but that's what I used to do. Weird that I can actually find those pictures they're on Google, so they're public knowledge. So that's fine. But yeah, it was an alright job. I didn't mind it. I mean, it was a job that I could literally just turn my brain off, and for 8 hours a day I'd get paid for just doing whatever. But yeah, electroplating with diamond. Fun little job. Well, it's not, I wouldn't say fun, but it was just enough just to get me by. It was enough to pay me. It was enough to get me by. I learned skills on how to plate, print, and cut metal, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's all right. I never learned to weld though. There was an apprenticeship, of course, they used to put like kids through. So if you went into there for work experience, they didn't want to set you off on like, oh yeah, you could be an electroplater, you could do this. What they would do is they would put you through an engineering course, so you actually had skill. So they did well for that. I mean, there were kids I saw kids come through, like from the ages of 16 to 18. They used to finish school, end up at where I used to work, and then they were on an apprenticeship. So they would come into work for 3 days a week, and then they would go to school for 3 days a week. So like Saturdays, Monday, let's say it was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They used to do college. They used to go to college, learn how to weld, learn how to be an engineer, and so on and so forth. And by the end of a couple of years, they were qualified. They come through, and then they can go off and do what they like, or they stay there and get a better job than what I was working. I was a minion. That's all I did. Jason Carter, welcome to the live stream. But yeah, seeing that photo, that's where I used to do 3 miles a day of walking alone up and down that warehouse all day. It was fun. But I learned how to sandblast. I learned how to take a blaster apart. Because I did some of them, I did when the maintenance guy wasn't there, we sort of had to muck in, so we had to learn how to like maintain the machines. So if the sandblaster stopped working, we had to take it apart. So you have to find out what's gone wrong. Sometimes it was like drill bits had just been sent down the chute, so they just get just wedged in. That was fun. So I used to take that apart on a like bi-weekly basis. Oh, the air hose isn't working. Yeah, the nozzle's shot, so you've blasted out the nozzle, so it won't shoot in a straight line. Have to change all the powders, change the glass, change the compressor, that sort of thing. Fun. But like I said, for me, that job was like minion work. So brain switch off, you do your job, and then your brain switches back on at 4:30, and you walk off. Because the working day was 7:30 till 4:30. And then after I finished work at 4:30, I used to go home, have something quick to eat, get dressed, and then go and work in the supermarket for 4 hours. So I did 12 to 13 hours a day, every day. I did that 5 days a week. And then after I'd done that for 5 hours a week, 5 days a week, Friday I used to get home at 9:30. Well, now you survive doing this. I don't survive, man. We're a benefits family, but because my wife is on disability, I'm a full-time carer. Like I get paid £60 a week or £70 a week by the government to do a nurse's job, and so I don't get paid a lot, you know. To put this into perspective, a nurse, if a nurse was to do this job, she'd be paid like a proper wage, whatever a nurse is on, like £18 an hour, I think it is. Like I get £70 an hour, I get £70 a week to be a carer. So if we need to go out, I have to take her out. If she needs help around the house, I help her around the house. If the kids need to do stuff, I do her stuff, all that. And when they go away for Christmas, they're going down to her mum's. I'm going to come home, I'm going to clean the flat because it needs to be done. And I sort of figured I'd just do it when they're not here. It's all good. But yeah, so I do mainly the cooking for the kids because I can't really cook. So a lot of the stuff is like easy stuff because I'm dunce. But if my wife feels like cooking, she can get up and cook. But then she can't stand up all the time, so she has to sit down. So I help wherever I can. So yeah, I went from earning £350 a week at one job down to £60 a week. What does your wife have? Basically, she went through chemo, she went through gastroparesis, and she's got other issues with her mobility now because the chemo sped up the process of life. So if you ever know anybody from chemo, if they go through chemo at like 40 upwards, they sometimes develop like joint problems and bits and pieces, and chemo will speed up the process because it's basically poisoning your body and making you sort of like, it makes you feel older, and it speeds up your joint problems. So now Kerry has problems with her knees, hands. She has sort of, it's like she can't feel half her feet anymore because the chemo basically killed her nerves. So she uses a walking stick or a crutch to get around most days because she just can't. We've got a blue badge. That's just how bad it is. Currently, we're sort of we're paying off the rest of our car, and then when we've paid this one off, we don't have to do a car anymore because we can get one through mobility because she will need it. And we live in a first floor flat. So occupational therapy came round. They looked at the flat and they went, right, okay, so you live on the first floor. Yep. 12 steps to get up. It's a steep set of stairs. So she got getting up the stairs. Kerry can't do it. And so that's like one point for us. We need to be moved. The bathroom at some point would need to be changed into a washroom because of obviously mobility. As we get older, she wouldn't be able to do as much. So we can't do that here. So we need to be moved. We can't get a stair lift in. So we would need to be moved. And all these things now are literally all the things that we need to start thinking of. I mean, we're 40 years old now. In 15 years' time, it could just get massively worse. I don't know. So that's the plan. We're just waiting for the right house to come up, and if we get accepted to it. So yeah, being a full-time carer, it gives me time. I've spent this time with my kids. I've watched them grow up, which is nice. I feel sorry for like fathers who don't get to do this, who don't get to be at home with their kids until they come home from work and they're knackered, and I completely get it. My kids drive me up the fucking wall, and they really do. Do you buy houses? If you can afford them, yeah. We're a council family, so we would never be able to afford a house at all. Houses where I live are anywhere between, I think the cheapest house in my area is £239,000, and that goes up to 1.6 million. That's where I live. If we lived up north, it's a lot cheaper to live up north. But yeah, because we're council tenant and we have to do this through disability and everything else, we don't get that option. I don't. If this channel got like hundreds of thousands of views and I could afford to, I would buy a house, but it doesn't, so I can't. That's the problem. The problem is money, mate. I'd love to do this as a full-time job. I would love to be earning a decent amount of money where I'm actually able to support for my family, but I can't, because there's not enough people that really give a damn about this sort of content to actually watch it all the time, or they really don't care about my channel. I sort of found that when I was doing the stuff for Hybridsteel, where I'd build the guides for Hybridsteel, people would watch the videos, but they wouldn't stick around, and then they just disappear and find someone else. That's just joys of life. It's a matter of time. I've been doing this for five years now. I started in 2018. We got a lot in common. Yeah, you'll find that a lot of people. I think it's like if you weird thing is, if you listen to, like, I don't know if you watch Split. If you watch Split, he's got several health problems, and then where it comes down to like the people that watch him, they've all got the same problems, and it's like it's almost like streamers attract the people that you relate to. So the channel that I've built is mainly related to people who watch simulation content. And then you find out that people who watch simulation content are normally in the same sort of like mindset as you. They've always got the same sort of like things. Whereabouts in the UK? I'm southeast, mate. Down in Kent, mate. Yeah, bruv. Not as bad as Essex, so I'm all right. But it's just how life is. You take it as it is, you get on with it, and you just go for it. And at the end of the day, not everything's going to go your way. Some things will, but you just make the best of a situation and you just go for it. That's just how I've had to live. You're in Kent, Daniel Crespin. Cool. I'm not going to ask where, because the one thing I'm not a big fan of is giving out proper locations. I use Matestone as a central point of like if anyone's within Matestone time. That's it. Simulator games are the best genre game. I would disagree. I just enjoy them. There is no best type, and the reason why there's no best type is because people have their own sort of they have their own likes and hates and so on and so forth. So I'm never going to say something is the best, because to me something is the best, but to somebody else it's not the best. So that's fair. Let's just say like simulation games are good for people. Like I'm good with them. But I do like other game types as well. You're in Matestone. Ooh. I was in there when was I in Matestone? A couple of days ago. Because I went in there as the last time before Christmas, because I ain't going anywhere near that place during Christmas. That's sick up there. Well, if you're ever in Matestone and you see my horrible mug, say hello. Oh, you're from Dover. Okay. That's not quite near. I live closer than Matestone you do. Dover's alright though. Straight up the M20, straight into Matestone. Have a beer. It's alright. That's how life is. But yeah, it's the joys of life. You're probably not that far from me. Well, like I said, I use the reason why I use Matestone as a whole like key thing is because when I grew up, I was in Matestone all the time. And when I moved back here, the reason why I moved back here was because I liked the nightlife at the time. You're out on call. Oh. But yeah, so that's why. I mean, when someone says, "Oh, you survive on here," it's like I would survive. Or I'm sort of surviving. Like YouTube pays some of the bills, but it doesn't pay them all. You finally started digging. Congratulations. California. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think California's too hot for me. I can't deal with anything over, like when it gets above 25 degrees, like centigrade, like Celsius. That's me done. I can't do it. It just does not compute. Brain goes into melt time at that point. I'm like, nope, dumb, don't care, whatever. Las Vegas. Air conditioning. We get all weathers. So do we. Gold Eagle, you're in Ashford. Trashford! Sorry, that's what we all call it. I got a mate down in Ashford. He's got a YouTube channel as well. You may have heard of it. I don't know if you have or not. His name is Slopes Game Room. He's a local boy. Leeds. As in North Leeds. Because there's a Leeds in the southeast as well. That's where Leeds Castle is. That's literally down the road from me. Well, I say down the road. It's like, go here, go Maidstone, turn right, and I'm in Leeds. But Leeds is like a tiny little village. So it's probably not the Leeds I'm on about. I think there's like 10 people and a donkey that live in Leeds. North Leeds. Yeah, you're in Leeds. Luton! There you go. So there you go, yeah. That's the joys of. I know you're in Luton because I've spoken to you, Claus. Yep. But yeah, joys of life. I mean, like I said before, I mean, all these problems and everything, you never know what's going to happen in life. And you take it day by day, and you end up just sort of, you know, being alright with everything. You just have to get on and go. I've got to, I'm over the Pennines. Wales? Is that where the Pennines are? I'm dumb. So when someone says something, it's like if I can roughly work out where things are. I don't know. Is the Pennines in Wales or is that in Yorkshire? This is how bad I am at geography. Bloody hellhole. Oh, welcome to England. By the way, thanks very much for subscribing, following over on Twitch, Gorgoroth. Most appreciated. Gamora, sorry. Or Gorgoroth. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Gamora. Pennines is Yorkshire. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. The backbone of England, mate. You're carrying all of us. Oh, that's not good. That backbone's getting really weak in its old age. Right, one more time. Right, 5 more truckfuls and then we're good. And I've got to go. Actually, I've got to go and find this worker because I don't know what they're going to do. I've got 7 days left. No, as in hilly. Yeah, I know, don't I? I failed geography. That's fine. I'm near Bolton. That's fine. That's cool. My wife is got how many kids I have. I've got 2. One's 5, one's 7. So yeah, they're at that awkward phase in life. Oh, the conveyor belt guy. You know what? We'll hire you in. It's fine. What do you do? Oh, I've already got a conveyor belt guy. How much are you costing me? I don't know how much he's costing me. He's 3.29. He's what? Oh, you know what? Fire him. I don't care. I have 2 there. Yeah, 2's a good number, and that was partial of the problems that when we went through the whole kids thing, we were looking at between 2 and 3, and then unfortunately, Kerry started having issues, and it was like, okay, we're done. We're not having any more. Streets. How you doing, bud? Thank you very much, Kick. Bye. And the first time chat. Way. And I think if that's broken, that means it's the hydraulics, which would be this one. Do I just ping this one off with a crowbar? Ping. No. Do I just take this off by hand then? How do I undo you? It's not with the hydro... Oh, it might be. No, that's stuck. By hand. I can't touch it. Save. Default. Save. Yep. Exit back to the menu. You have 7. Jeebus. That awkward phase, the one between 4 and 18. Yeah. Oh. Like Logan, who's my eldest, he's sort of getting the idea of just not to mess around as much. My 5-year-old Oliver is like trying to push buttons still. So yeah, it's sort of stretching patience. But it's okay. The breakdowns don't bother me. It's like when things don't work, that's when it bothers me. 7 kids though. That's like my nan. Well, she had 5. Crowbar. It's not broken now, it's fine. See, it works now. Go figure, right? I still want to change it. Turn it off. I have 3. One is 30. Wow. One is 26 and one is 11. Wow, you've been going for a while. Fair play to you. It's got 1 durability left. Just let me take it off. There we go. Crowbar. One is due in a few days. Mate, slow down. Sell. Done. Right, let's go and get ourselves another hydraulic. I'll probably get actually if I order 2 just in case the other one cups out as well, so we'll do that. We'll get 2 hydraulic rams, which should be fine. Parts. Pistons, there we go. I'll buy 2. I don't mind taking the cost on these because I have 6 and the youngest there was 6 and 9. Man, I couldn't deal with it. Like 2 has tested me. I'm done. I don't want to do it no more. Like I don't think my head could take it either. Like I've you know, I mean the way that I used to be when I was younger is why I never had kids when I was younger. Like I had them when I was 30 because it was like it's easier to deal with. Like if I'd have done it, the reason why I worked so much is because I couldn't really get into a relationship, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to work, I'll be fine. And I swore to myself that I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't get kids early. I just wasn't going to be. I wouldn't have been a good parent. So waiting for a little bit longer until I got older and more mature, that was a good time. You know, I enjoyed myself. I had fun. I went out and got drunk, went to festivals, and sometimes a lot of the times I can't remember, but as a parent, I would have been awful. Are we, man? How you doing? I wasn't responsible at all. So that's what I did. I went down that whole route of like dealing with myself first. Right, I gotta move because that's more than a quarter turn. Beep, 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 beep. Map up. Right, where are we at? Parcel 2. We want this one. This one. There's nothing in that square. Okay, we'll take that one then. There's gold in that one. There's only 40 ounces in that one, and we'll take that one. That's 170. That's 92. 92. There's 329 ounces in that square there. There's 289 in that one. 250 in that one. We'll take those. Yeah, I don't do that. I do things my way. If I can... There we go. If I bring my truck there, we'll be alright. I don't want to use it. Fine. Brackets to the other side of the keyboard. My hand's on the mouse. I don't use my other hand. I don't. So how I do this is like as a dumbass YouTuber, right? Is the hand that controls the mouse. I don't use the other hand for anything else when I'm playing games. The left hand side of my keyboard, I don't move my hand from the left side of my keyboard. My microphone's in the middle. It literally doesn't give me any room, like here. So that's just above my keyboard. My desk is very small, so I don't really move a lot. And with the microphone, the worst part is good the microphone's in front of me. Is there. I could bring the microphone up here and I could like angle it down, but then it's going to be in front of my head. So I was thinking of getting a shotgun mic and just putting it over the top of my monitor, so I'd be able to like go from there, but then it might fall off the back of my desk into my kid's toy box, which wouldn't be a very good time. So yeah, it's because we have a very small area. I have a very small area to actually do this in, and it's not very big, so it's just deal with how I do things. It's easier not to use the right side of my keyboard because of a wire. If I pull this wire out, my microphone stops working. Joys of life. Like I said, if I had loads of money, then it'd be alright. I mean, in order to do that on YouTube, though, I would have to sell my soul. I would have to make content that's like, yeah. I have a shotgun mic, and it would not work like that. To get really good quality sound, you have to have it close to your mouth. Depending on the microphone, like there are microphones that there are shotgun mics. Like, people like Harris Heller uses them. They're off screen and they pick up straight through, and I mean my monitor's like just in front of me, so if I had a shotgun mic just poking over the top of the monitor, you guys wouldn't see it. My camera's there, the microphone would be over there off screen, so if it would pick it up, it's all good. So yeah, I have toyed around with having the mic above or to the side, but then it doesn't pick up properly, so because it's the microphone I have is built for what it does. I don't have one of these like podcast microphones or like one that picks up sound from everywhere. I limit the sound because I'm in a living room, so I limit the sound so it's just me. The microphone I got was designed for doing music studio recording, and the only reason why I know it was a good microphone for my voice is because when I was in a band, we used to use these microphones to record songs, so that's how I know it was good for me. So that's why I use it. I do want a beacon mic though. The microphone I want is £329. It's expensive, but it's bloody good. It's got all its sound equalizing, all the software's built into the microphone itself. So it's alright. You got the Rode NTG one, so it's quite good, but I still have pretty close to, yeah. Yeah, I want so the auditorium thing, if you've got a slightly empty room, that's why. So how I went around that, people go, oh, you should get like, you know, dampening stuff for your walls and everything else and this and never. I'm like, doesn't really do it. So you see all these people with like padding on the walls, you know, they get little black squares and they're like, oh yeah, look at me, I've got all my sound stuff. That's okay, but what did you do on the floor? So what did you do all around you? So we're in a carpeted living room with lots of stuff, which means there's no echo. When we carpeted this room, the echo was ridiculous. So when we put carpet down, it was fine. There's no echo. I sit on a carpet, so my chair doesn't move, and there's good sound. These wall pieces, these are foam fake brick, and I've got them in this corner so sound doesn't vibrate because I'm in a corner. And then I've got my monitors in front of me which stops sound echoing. So I literally built a sound cave for myself. So yeah, that's how I did it. I know you get people like, oh yeah, I've got my desk, I've got this, and they have their desk on a flat wall. And so their flat wall, the sound, when you've got a flat wall and you've got like lots of space around you, you've got all this space where sound goes. If you built your studio into a corner, you can pad the walls to make it look like it's a wall or something, but you can put padding into those walls. These are foam brick, so these are foam adhesive, so they act as soundproof panels. And I've got that on 2 walls behind me and all my stuff, and it's in a corner so the sound doesn't move. And that's what I did. And you get oh well, yeah, we got all these soundproof panels, we got this, that and the other, we'll use this. It's like, if you just thought about how you put things out, it's a lot cheaper. You have a 6-foot Bavarian behind you, 3 monitors. Yeah, so yours is okay. The audio is really good, and I do it on the cheap. Like my audio is nothing special. I use a Marantz 2000 USB microphone, which is like 70 quid on eBay or on Amazon. This is it, and it's not. It doesn't go. It goes through USB, so it hasn't got a sound interface. I haven't messed around with my voice at all. It's the microphone. All of it is the microphone. So what you hear is basically a slightly louder version of me, which is fine. But yeah, doing the whole sound thing. If you can do things on a budget, you have to think about how you're doing stuff. The fake wall is like 10 quid for like 10 sheets. So I bought it all off of eBay and then I stuck it all on the wall. The only problem is when it comes to taking it off the wall, I think the council are probably going to hate me because it's just going to make a fucking mess. I'll probably have to sand it off, let's put it that way. Well, miss, well, you've left loads of stuff all over the walls. Is that? Yeah, sue me, it's fine. I have a bearded dragon called Tianet. That's fine, man. I got kids. I don't need pets. People keep saying, you should get yourself a dog. It's like, no. Why do I need a dog? Well, because, they're companions. I've got kids. There's enough mouths to feed. You have a lino floor with no soundproof panels, so I have a Rode NT1 stand. So, okay, so when it comes down to your floor, put a carpet down. So instead of being on a lino floor, which is echoey and very thin, get a rug or a carpet. That will help. Right? Make sure you just got things around you. When it comes to your walls, get fake brick. Fake adhesive brick is one of the better. I found it's quite cool. Number one, it gives you the illusion that it looks like it's sort of like a wall. You can get brick coloured wool, so you can get them like actual properly. But I just went with like the darker colours because, well, when I put the floodlight in, because I have a floodlight for lighting the background, the light bounces off dark colours better. It gives it a bit more of a mood as well. That's why my shelves are grey. That's why everything's like dark colours. So the colour actually stands out a bit more. And my lights are real cheap as well. My floodlight cost me like 20 quid off of Amazon. My ring light was 20 quid out of a shop, and that's what lights is. If I turn this off, it gets really dark. That's just a 20 quid ring light. And because it's away from the 45-degree angle, I don't see it. It's just there. Yeah, well, the thing is because I'm never going to be a massive YouTuber. I'm never going to have like hundreds of thousands of pounds to spend on stuff. So you find cheaper alternatives and you find what works. I started off using a flipping washing line, clothes pegs, and a chain to put a background up. And then I used a green screen, and then I got sick and tired of setting the green screen up, so I just didn't bother. I've had 3 different microphones, this one being my 3rd, but I know what mic I want, and that'll probably be that'll be the microphone I stick with for like the rest of my YouTube life, I think. But yeah, it's the Beacon, and the Beacon mic it's such a cool microphone. Everything's through USB, but it's got an inbuilt processor inside, so you do all your EQs and bits and pieces inside the software, inside the microphone, so you don't need to have like a separate mixer. It's all done inside the actual like container of the mic. It's amazing. These are the guys that used to work for, I can't remember who they used to work for now, but they were a good like bunch of electronic stuff that they used to work for. And then these guys went off and did their own thing, and Beacon microphones I would say would probably be like one of the best. And that goes above Rode. Like, I know Rode do good stuff, but like this everything is built into the microphone itself. It's amazing. But even then, for Fine are doing all right now. For a cheap brand, for Fine are all right. And I can't remember. I think it was the Razer one, like the actual microphone that glows red. I can't remember who made it, but like, I've seen a few YouTubers using it now, and it seems to be like a decent one. So yeah, I think it just comes down to what you like. For me, it was just simplicity. I don't really want to mask my voice too much because you just give everybody a false impression. I find that with people who, like, when they sort of lack a sort of charisma, they try and make their voices a little bit more bassy to give people a bit more like, hey, I need to listen to this guy. All I have to do is talk, and I'm all right. So yeah, that's just how I do stuff. You have a Technica. Is that the one that's like it's got the red sort of glowy panels on the sides? Because I actually don't mind that microphone. Also, did you hear that like Brooklyn Nine-Nine's Captain Holt died? I was so Andre Bermahar, I think his name was. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but he's dead. 61 years old. 61. I actually was upset. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember how to pronounce it. Is it Braga? Andre Braga? I've always had trouble with like the way that people say their names. Funny angle this. Yeah, very straight. It was you know, I would have thought it'd last a bit longer, but 61, I think he said that they said it was pneumonia or something. That was upsetting. Like, I mean, I think like 60 is like, I mean, that scares me a bit because I'm 40. I'm like, that's like 20 years away. I'm expecting another at least 40 years out of me. I don't want to go before then. I'm hoping like mini bots at some point, like nanobot technology comes in and we start living a little bit older. But yeah, it's when you start seeing people like that going, it's like, oh, jeepers Christ. Water. Now there's water. All good. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it sucks. I've still got a bet. We're trying to predict who's going to be like the next big one to go. So it was David Attenborough, Dick Van Dyke, or I can't remember who I put up on Facebook. But all three of these guys were like 97. It's like, it's only a matter of time. It's morbid, but you know, when you get old, it's going to happen. Right, 1.3 million, 400,000 in gold. So, well, maybe near 450 because of gold price. I think after this cleanup, we'll have like close to 2. Live your best life. Ba, 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 ba. Don't forget, guys, as we're waiting for this to go through, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification button below for all other updates. If you enjoy the channel, maybe become a member of the channel. And a member of the channel becomes, you get your name in green and then you get emojis and so on and so forth. And over on Twitch, if you use your Amazon subscription, because I don't know if you actually want to use your money to do this, you can become a follower of this channel. And that means that Amazon pay me money and not you, because you've used your, you get it. You don't have to spend your own money, and that's good. Or you can go out and buy yourself some Hybridsteel merchandise. We have hats. You can have one with the standard logo or the old school Hybridsteel logo. There are t-shirts and bits and pieces as well. And I think some of my old Heist merchandise might be on there as well. I was thinking of creating a clothing band called Heist. H-Y-S-T. And then people go, oh, why are you calling that? Is that because it's Hybridsteel? But it just looked cool. Like, it was like a nice burnt, like, almost like a street logo, which I thought was pretty cool. I just never got around to actually doing a Redbubble page for it, which is a bit of a shame. But apart from that, it's all good. That's the sort of thing I do on, like, I second guess pretty much everything. Everything I ever do is second guessed. Bum 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 bum. What's this? Chat settings. Oh, I can show the mod icons. That's fine. Are we done yet? Are we done? Yeah, we are done. Oh my god. I was not paying attention. Seven days till winter. It's 4:30. I'm gonna have to get a new camera at some point as well. I don't know how long mine's gonna last. So I was given this one about 4 years ago now. My mate Neil, who's Urban Van Life, he doesn't need a webcam. He uses actual cameras now. And he said, "Oh, you can have this one." I was like, "All right, cheers, mate, most appreciated." And it's a Logitech C9330E. Sorry. Pardon me. And genuinely, it's a good little camera. It does alright, but I think it's getting old, and I'm not sure how long it's going to last. So yeah, that needs to be changed at some point. My microphone needs to be changed at some point. My tyres on my car need to be changed at some point. Everything's getting old, man. Conveyor belt. Oh no, the buckets are destroying themselves. Big power generator button's destroyed as well. Oh, fudge. Which one? Oh, that one. Okay. Oh no! The world is falling apart. Well, it's the C930E. So the C930, I'm not sure what the difference was, but there was like a tiny difference. I'm like, okay, that one's better. But yeah, it's a good little mic. It does its job. Right, I've got to pull a bucket. Damn. Right, which bucket is broken? That one. Obviously, it's the one I'm going to have to get inside the machine for. We need a ladder. Dude. Huh, can't see. Alright, I need a button and I need a bucket. I don't know. So I got it for free. It's working, but it's like, how long is it going to last? So that's just the joys. Right, bucket. Oh, I can't use the tablet because it's broken. I'm going to skip. This is what I don't like. One thing I don't like about autumn. Thunderstorms. Sleep for an hour. Stop thundering. Right, equipment store. Parts. Bouquet. Conveyor belt bucket. There we go. And a button. Big power generator button. There we go. Check out. I still can't believe it costs $129 to get a button. 129 bucks for a button. That's a lot of money for a button. I can't see. Right, that's on. Box on, box off. Right, 11:15. We've got a couple of hours left, so I've got to go soon. Well, I say soon. I've got to go. I've got to be out of the house by. I've got to stop by half one. So 1:30. That's when I've got to disappear. Because I've got to go to the kids' show today. And there we go. Right, back on. Let's go. Scutter. Yep. How you doing there, bud? Now I'm expecting everything to break now. Everything's going to break and it's going to go horribly wrong. Okay? And if that's the case, I'm going to get very, very annoyed. And I'm going to have to try and figure out a plan. Because if everything's going to start breaking now, I don't want to keep repairing things before at the end of my season. So I might as well just get rid of everything. Let's go. Try and get as much money out of this as possible before it all just shuts down. It's like, it's all failing. Shut it down. Right. Hopefully this can last another like 2 or 3. Well, I'm hoping 2 truckfuls, maybe 3. I think we're gonna be stopping at like 43%, 44 maybe. That's what we'll see. So I'll probably need 3 more truckfuls. So I'm hoping that's like, if that's like the end, if that's where it's going to finish and things are going to start snapping and breaking and everything else, I'm like, I don't really want to keep carrying on with a plant that's going to just start shutting down on itself. So we have to start looking into everything. Let's just have a check. %, really? Because that's the one I just put on. I replaced this yesterday. 85%. What are the wheels on the trommel like? %. That's not bad. What's the chain like? Chain 14. Damn it. Guess what's breaking next? Oh, it'd be one of the... I guarantee it's going to be a bloody duplex thing, isn't it? Why is there a hydraulic hose on the shaker? To make the shaker go up and down. Because there's a pump. No, you got the water bar in the hose. All I know is there's a hydraulic hose on that shaker. Go figure then, mate. But as soon as it breaks, it's like, yeah, you can't use my shaker anymore because the hydraulic hose is broken. Let's go and find out quick. Let's just have a quick look to see if it's a hydraulic motor, which I think it is. But this is the old shaker, so I'm just guessing. So you've got a hydraulic hose that run this. So that's water. This one here, that's hydraulics. So the hydraulic hose goes from here and it goes into the spray bar. I don't know. Make sense of that as much as you will. Yeah, that hydraulic hose is for the spray bar. That one, this pipe here that you can't repair is the water pipe. So they put a hydraulic hose on here to simulate water, but they didn't call it a water hose. They called it a hydraulic hose. Yeah, I think they just have one because it's the same hose you put on the side of an excavator, but this is your water pipe. So the two water pipes that go in there, you don't have to worry about. With this one, if they just said, oh yeah, it's a water pipe, then yeah, that's how it is. But there you go. That's why it's got a hydraulic hose, because it's a water pipe. Yep. You know when people say it's a bush fix? Yep. The game was built on bush fixes. Even before it starts. Maybe so people tried to connect the small yeah, they probably did. So you've got, obviously we've got water hoses, fat water hose and so on and so forth. Guarantee people went, well, the water hose doesn't work on this. It's like, because it's not a water hose. Oh, I need to move my truck 3 feet. I think it's just something put there. So yeah, I mean, if they'd have called it like wash plant hose, we would have probably like tagged onto that quite quick. But I think it comes down to like covering idiot syndrome. So you know, things don't, you as Bammy said, probably down to someone tried putting a water hose on it and then it didn't work and then they complained about it, so they just turned it into a hydraulic hose. But hydraulic hose, you know, I'm going to assume that you can use a hydraulic hose as a water hose, but they just haven't called it a water hose because they've already got water pipes and water hoses. So that's all I can speculate. I don't actually know. Is this Frankenstein machine? There is a Frankenstein, yeah. That's in the yard. You can go and buy it, but it's expensive. But there is one. Kerbalette, thank you very much for kicking by the way. Most appreciated to have you here. DLC is enabled. Yes, the machines from DLC are on there. Yeah, I'm hoping, like, I know they're working on something. I'm hoping the DLC is going to be good. I'd love to see some new stuff. I really would. Like, new claims would be a good start. Like, new places to dig, upgrade some of the things that we do on some of these, like, the claims. Anyway, give us a bigger yard to buy stuff from. Like, extend that yard massively, and then put it in as placeholder. So even if you just put Content coming soon. Give it a year to develop. Bring in some new machines. Bring in some bits and pieces. Show us that there's like progression, or you've got a plan. That's all we ask for. We're just simple Gold Rush gamers. That's all we are. But if they were to extended the shop yard with all the equipment in it, like tenfold, let's say it turned into a massive car park, and they just put a placeholder in that says content coming soon, at least then people can just go, ooh. Apparently that's not on console, mate. The free. If I don't think the console comes with the DLC. I think the console version comes without it, but I don't know, because the Frankenstein was DLC. So tier 5, all of tier 5 is downloadable content. It's not part of the vanilla game. Because it used to finish at tier 4. Old Arnold was like the top upgrade, along with the planters. But tier 5 came in with the DLC. People were pretty salty when they added the Frankenstein machine of the existing yard with a pop-up that says had to buy them though. I don't give a damn if people are salty about it. It shows that the game's being worked on, which is what people want. They want proof that the game is being worked on. So if you extend the yard and make it much, much bigger, put placeholders in and say, look, things are coming, yada, 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 we're all good. Because people can get pissed off as much as they like. But if you put a placeholder in and say the game's being worked on, people start to go, oh, okay, that's cool. Instead of just, oh, for fuck's sake, blah. And if they are those type of people that just go, oh, for fuck's sake, blah, those are the people that just need a slap in the face. It's that simple. To the tailings piling with them. Anybody that moans about a game just because they're putting a placeholder in because of content, they're the people that need to be like hit on the most, because they're never happy. A placeholder for me means the game actively has a working career. It's being worked on. It's all good. I don't see why the negativity comes on it, but people are idiots. And that's all I can really say. A placeholder for me means trust. Means the developer is like, it's all good. We're working on it. Give us some time. You know what? That's good enough for me. Well, the response to the performance patches was pretty positive. Yeah, I haven't seen anything majorly negative. Maybe a couple of little bugs here and there, but so far, I mean, everyone seems to be really happy with it. So I'm all right with that. I'm not partaking in the beta myself because I'm on leaderboard, but I've got, you know, I do other things. I've done the main game that I test when it comes down to it is Hybridsteel, just because I've played it for so long. I know it backwards and forwards. The Wevim. I wouldn't protest placeholders. Content in early access game, but a full release shouldn't have No, it should. So this is the thing. If you put a placeholder in, even in a fully launched game, right, it proves that the game's not dead. It proves that people are still actively working on it, and it proves that people can shut up. Because the moment you stop working on a game, to put it into perspective, this game, Gold Rush, the reason why people got annoyed with this game is because development just sort of stopped, right? The only things that were ever getting updated were leaderboard. It was more of a maintenance thing. You know, games come out of full launch, game now goes into maintenance, we're just going to keep things running, it's all good. The problem with that is that the studio went through an overhaul. So the studio's going for an overhaul, there are new people working there are new developers in, they're basically reworking the game. If you put a placeholder in to say, even in a fully launched game, new content coming soon, give us 5 minutes, then people understand that as okay, so the game's not dead. But the moment you stop doing stuff for a game, people will assume the worst. The game is broken, the game is dead. Oh, they've given up on it, they've moved on, they don't care about the community. But this is prime example. They sort of do care about the community because they are rebuilding the game and they are adding to the game. They could have been the vehicles in the score with it. Yeah, exactly. You put a tarp over a vehicle, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, it's cool. They're working, yeah. But this is what I mean. When I streamed this on, I think I streamed it on Saturday, and one of the developers was on Twitch and he was watching the stream. I said the thing that you need to take into consideration for everyone. And this goes down to every games developer in the entire world. You need to be transparent. You need to tell people straight away what's happening, because if not, they just bitch about it and assume the worst. As soon as you turn your back on the community, the community won't really listen to you ever again. The example would be Fnatic, the people who created the day before. You know, there's one that basically were charging 30 quid for their game, and now the game's unavailable. The studio shut down after 4 days. That bit. And I know they're offering refunds to people, but that shows like there is no trust in that studio anymore. And the trust in this game went out the window when things stopped being talked about. And the only updates people were getting were leaderboard updates. It's like, is there much point in playing anymore? Even I went through it. I was like, you know, I mean, Gold Rush seems to be pretty dead because I'm not hearing anything. So I just assumed this was going to be my last playthrough on the game, and I wasn't going to worry. And I come back to it and I find out that the game's actively being worked on. It's like, you need to be transparent. You need to tell people it's happening. Because if you don't, people assume the worst. People go on their own little tangents, and then people just stop doing stuff. Is that the one person I like? I'll keep talking about him. Pirate Software. The reason why I like him is because his work ethic is, he does an 8-hour stream where he talks about being a games dev, and whilst he's talking about it right now, he occasionally works on his game, which has been out for a couple of years, but he actively works on it live on stream. He talks about the game industry, talks about himself, talks about the game, talks about how he codes. He helps people into the gaming world. But he actively works on the game and the demo and everything else whilst he's streaming. So he's showing the work. He's showing the fact he is still there. You know, and this is what developers need to do. Even if it's just like a freebie person that's going to come in and sort of help out for like HR or just like doing promotion work. All you have to do is just be active and tell people this is happening. Don't worry, we've got this. Who was it yesterday? It was one of my Dave B. No, Doug B. Right, so Doug came in and he said, have you heard much of Hybridsteel? And I said, all I know is they're working on a big update. And I knew they were working on an update because Itchy's spoken about it. Outside of that conversation between Itchy and a few people in the community, no one knew Hybridsteel was being worked on. Everyone genuinely, I think it was getting to a point where people just went, is it a dead game? Well, it's not a dead game because now they're actively putting in DLC next year. And they put up a screenshot yesterday that clearly showed that they're actually working on the game. It's like, this is pretty cool. So again, you have to be transparent with people, because if not, that's when toxicity starts. That's when people start having a go at you, and that's when people just give up on you because you failed to keep them interested into the project you're working on. And I know that for being a YouTuber. If I take 2 weeks off of here, and I didn't say anything, if I just stopped uploading, if I stopped making videos, if I just disappeared for 2 weeks without saying a single word, nothing on my social media, nothing on Discord, nothing else, people are going to assume a couple of things. Number one, I'm dead. Number two, I'm never coming back. Number three, he took a load of money and ran, because that's probably what people would assume. If I left a message or a video that said, hey guys, I'm taking a couple of weeks off, I'm doing stuff with my family, yada yada yada, people aren't going to care. But the message is there. It's like, hey, I am taking time off, I'm taking it off for myself, give me a couple of weeks to get my head back. You know, that's fine. Go on holiday, be happy, do all that stuff you should be doing, but be transparent with the people that follow you, because then that works for everybody else. That's how you keep a community going. That's just how life is. Pearls of wisdom from a 40-year-old bearded weirdo. There you go. Keep people happy. So that's the message. That's what you gotta do. Yeah, radio silence sucks. Like, it's not good. Everyone just rumours it, and then they go on their own little weird tangents in head mode. Well, no, not really. I mean, the thing is, if you, I'll put this back into the placeholder argument. So, if you put a placeholder into a game, yeah. So, if let's say I went into the shop right now, into the game, and there was a tarp over a, I don't know, a truck looking icon. You know, like, let's say there was a tarp over the truck in the yard. My assumption is going to be there's new stuff coming, right? If they followed that up with a message on Steam going, hey guys, you may have seen this. I struggle keeping up with my wife. Yeah, exactly. If they put up that picture on the Steam community and took a photo of it and said, hey guys, we're actively working on the game, give it, you know, there is no timeline right now, but we are working on it. That placeholder is like a sign of hope. It also tells the community that it's not a dead game. And that's where you got to do it. It's not a risky thing, because people will draw their own conclusions and they'll go off their own little like tangents of what could and couldn't happen and so on and so forth. My guess for Hybridsteel was that when I was looking at the map and the way that the game had evolved to where it was, there wasn't really much else that the game could offer as where it was right now. So I believe it was a couple of months ago in one of my Hybridsteel like live streams I was just flapping about in, I made a prediction that the idea that I had was that the game was going to go into a new direction. It was going to go somewhere else. And when I say somewhere else, they were going to bring back the boat that originally docked at Bridgeport. We would then pay like, I don't know, 15 million Hydra coin, and we buy a ticket to a foreign land, or we get sent on a mission by the king. So you do the king's quest, and the king goes, hey, you've finished we've done, you know, you've helped the people of my land, yada yada yada. Here I have a letter from King whatchamacallit from this land. Go to the docks. Here's the, you know, pay the toll, and then you go to a land. Literally, the screenshot that came up yesterday from Max is a land. It's a person in a different land with a volcano going off, and I'm like, I literally predicted this. This is how I saw Hybridsteel moving. It'll open up tier 4, 5 and 6 for equipment wise. We'll be able to go deeper, harder, faster, new elements, new this, that and the other, and you'll only be able to get this stuff from that land, so technically having to start again. I'm like, this is where I predicted the game going, and that looks like where it is going. So I'm sitting there just going, that one tiny screenshot gave me all these ideas now that what I'm going to be doing with that game when it comes to like making videos and content and streams and so on and so forth. That's my new placeholder. And all the people that were like, well, we don't know what's happening in Hybridsteel because no one's talking about it, that one screenshot has saved the conversation. Exactly, you remember this conversation. It was one of those things. And if you can just put one placeholder, one image, you give an entire community a reason to follow it again. So that one screenshot for all those like people that have bought the game are like, oh my god, there's going to be new content. Hype. I did kind of call placeholder content as tease marketing. You say it to imply things. Yeah, exactly. It gives hope to people. That's the thing. Well, yeah, I mean, ongoing games are easier because people are always playing them. But with something like Gold Rush, it would start people going. People would just go, well, they're still working on it, so the game's not dead yet. And it's a good way of revitalizing like that message of people like thinking it was a dead game. You know, over time it will move forward and people will go, hey, you know, Gold Rush is getting this, and it starts spreading through the internet and more people come back to it and look at it and so on and so forth. That's just how you have to think of it. But with Hybridsteel, it was that one thing has now, like, the Discord started popping again as soon as that image popped up, and it's like, this is how you keep hype going. It may be a cheap indie game, but jeebus. I like the Gold Rush game loop, but I have more hope for Out of Ore. Well, yeah, I'm out. The reason why Out of Ore is more of a hope thing is because they have a roadmap. Christian is actively working on the game most days, so yeah. Oh, duplex cheers. So I knew these things were going to happen. Every claim and its own play. Yeah. Which one broke? This one. That means the rest of them are going to break. We'll keep it going. 7 days to winter, guys. The great breakening is happening now. It's all going to go Pete Tong. I'm hoping for new stuff. Like with this game, I'm hoping that whatever DLCs comes out, they open up the land a bit more. They generally make things look a bit nicer. There's maybe a couple of new claims, bits of equipment. You know, even if it's just like a couple of like hog pan bits that we can do instead of just using this, a couple of extra options would be nice. And then from there, you just start snowballing updates. Bigger stuff comes in later on, bringing the small stuff in now. And that's just where it is. But as I said, I see this from a gamer's point of view. I don't see it from a developer's point of view. I see it from, in order to keep me interested, you need to be able to keep the crowd interested. In order to keep the crowd interested, they need to know what's going on. And that's why when I can't remember the developer's name. It was one of them. He was in my chat, his stream. I said literally, transparency is the best option. Because from my perspective, I want to know what's going on. I want to see I want to see what's happening. So I need that. But when it comes down to other people, they probably need some sort of like, you know, just comforting to say that it's actually happening. I struggle keeping the wife happy. I want them to put Slucifer in. Slucifer's a big operation though. That's an entire wash plant in one go. So I don't think they will. And the reason, unless they strike a contact with the people who make it, I don't think that sort of thing's going to happen. And I think it was Bammy that was in the Discord and maybe a couple of others, and we spoke about this. Like, bringing in contracts and stuff for equipment is hard because you have to go through the legal processes. A company like MSI, who make all the wash plants, they would probably be interested in like mapping their stuff and putting it into the game, but that's like a long road down. That's a long road to go down. Then you have to think, oh, you know, I mean, when it comes to wash tables, you have to go through all the companies that have wash tables, or you make an asset that looks like it, but then you put it in the game, and then you say, look, hey, we made this wash table. If you put your name on it, it's free advertising for you. So you use it as a placeholder, as an advertiser thing. So yeah, you could go down that route, but it comes down to talking to the companies who make this equipment to actually get their permission to put it into the game, because it's a licensed named game. Gold Rush is the license. You have to then strike a deal with other companies in order to put all that legal stuff into it, in order to put like Slucifer, Big Red and all the other stuff into the game. And then you have to be able to like deal with it all. So with this game, because you've got an area where you actually put your wash plant, it's all very standard setup. With something like Slucifer, you can move it around. The problem with that is those lands are massive, and that's one thing this game doesn't have. If you look at like Out of Ore, you could get away with doing stuff like Slucifer, Big Red, because the game is ginormous, right? It's massive. You can build roads in that game, and you wouldn't even see a friend. I've been through how big that game is before, like in the past. And when it comes down to like putting in proper mining equipment and everything else, it could be done on there because of the sheer scale. But the problem with Gold Rush is that this is it. Like claim-wise, you put Slucifer in here, that's all you're going to do. You're going to put Slucifer here, you're going to have pipes bringing all the way across your land, and it's going to look a bit like messed up. And then you have to move it every 20 feet because the dirt's not piled up properly, or the excavator doesn't reach here properly, and it's not a very big piece of land. But Out of Ore is open, and there's no boundary. Good point that the licensed nature of the game, yeah, it did make it a little bit harder apparently, but like not so much. And not clear of what the commitments they were for the license. So basically, for what I understand of the licensing, it was to use the likeness of people like Todd, Parker and Tony in the titles and the official logo. I mean, basically everything else is unbranded. So if you look at the rock trucks, if you look at the excavators and so on and so forth, they're not a branded company, or for what I understand. So it's mainly just to use the name, but then because you're using the name, it all has to have that certain permission. So it's like walking on tenterhooks, isn't it? So. Monster Red wash plant would be cool, but then again, licensing, you have to go through MSI. So yeah, a Muckrunner SD 600 would be a giant mobile wash plant. Yeah, but then you have to get hold of Macom. Again, you have to get hold of the people who create this stuff in order to put it in the game. because you're not allowed to just take the likeness of something and put it in a game without a license. So if you wanted, like, you know, specific equipment, each one of those pieces of equipment has to have its own contract to have its likeness put in, and to basically make sure that it's correct. Because you're not allowed to just skimp on, like, oh, we can put this in and then look nothing like it. If you're representing a company, they want it to be as good as possible to go, this is what we make. So yeah, that's the problem with going through the legal process of, like, anything in a game. It's the same with cars. Like, if you look at, like, Formula 1 or Gran Turismo or anything else, all of those cars are licensed, but it's not just the car that's licensed, it's the parts. So if you've got, I don't know, to put this into perspective, if you go to Mini and say, yeah, we want to put Mini into a game, then you have to get a license for the likeness of the car. But then if you go into the more structured parts of, like, the engine, then you have to have a separate contract with BMW to have the engine, like, put into the game. If you've got any parts made by a different company, let's say Suzuki make your wheels and you've got a Honda, you can get a license for the Honda, but then you have to get a license for the Suzuki wheels, or you have to make a placeholder part that gets put into the game that looks a little bit like it, but not quite enough so they don't have to pay for the contract. And that will be the same for Gold Rush. So if you put in a shed ton of stuff from, like, MSI, then they're going to want a contract to make it look more like all the stuff they make. And that, again, this comes down to legal thoughts. I thought you could use a likeness, but without... Well, no, because the Tony Beats, Parker, and fucking Hoffman, they were under the brand of Gold Rush. So because they're under the brand, you have to talk to the brand owner to own to buy into the contract. It's like football players. Every football player has to have a contract signed with EA because of, like, their likeness is in the game. So they get a residual warrant, like a thing for it. Joys of life. Oh, I just lost 82 ounces in provision of rent. Oh, screw these people. I shouldn't have kept the gold. Good morning, Gadfield, by the way. Well, this is the joys of, like, gaming. Like, gaming, yeah, okay, you may make a game, but you have to think about what you're putting in your game, and is it going to encroach on someone's, like, copyright infringement? But if you look at a load of unbranded stuff, no one's going to give a damn. So that's why I'm assuming that the excavator, the rock truck, don't have an actual brand. They're off-brand. It's why the D-Rocker looks like the D-Rocker from the game, from the TV show. That probably has a contract of its own in it. Because in in series 2 or 3, when Fred took over the Hoffman's plant, he bought that D-Rocker in. Looks like the one in this game. So I'm going to assume that they have a contract for that brand to be in the game. Basically, just assume if it's got a name on it and it's an official name, there's a contract for it. If you play something like Grand Theft Auto and all the cars are not what they actually are, so you'll get, like, the Mustang, but it's named the Sabre Turbo, that's because they didn't want to pay out for a contract for the car's name, brand, badge, you know, look, everything. They built a car and called it the Sabre Turbo. It's you know, fundamentally a Mustang or a Camaro, that sort of thing. And you'll see this in loads of other. If you look at games now, and if it's got off-branded stuff, that's why. Because they don't want to pay for a contract. It's too much money. GTA, they could bloody afford it though. It's not like they're poor. Like Rockstar's a multi-billion-pound corporation now. It's like, we can afford the contracts for a BMW, it's fine. But I can't remember what it was. But there was I think it was a scrap game or a scrapyard game or something. But there was a contract for a car that went into the game, but because it got, like, damaged, they weren't happy with it. So they withdrew their contract because they didn't like the fact their car that they put into the game, it was scrapped. Or they didn't like the fact the damage was so severe. And it was like, okay, cool. So they're going to take the contract away because of it. And it's like, it could just happen. I guarantee one of the things that's going to happen in Grand Theft Auto and I'll you know, I mean, you could predict this if you want. I guarantee that at some point there'll be a news bulletin in the actual game, because they do all their random news bulletins and stuff like that just to make it more entertaining. I guarantee one of those news bulletins is going to be a Tesla, because it's not going to be Tesla, because then they can't, like, they won't have to pay for the actual, like, license. A Tesla has blown up in a car park after charging for too long. Guarantee it happens, because it's happening in real life. Electric cars blow up at pumps, so, well, at charging stations, not pumps. But yeah, gaming's a minefield. That's why indie studios are genuinely better, because they just don't buy contracts for, like, name brand goods. WWE is full of it as well. Like WWE, every wrestler has to have his own contract because they're represented in the game. Their special moves and everything else, because they're part of the WWE. I think it's literally everything in the WWE, down to move set that they do, special moves, taunts, everything has to have a contract, because it has to be correct. It has to be the way that it's shown in the TV on the show. So it has to be the same in the game, which means it's copyrighted, which means it's someone's property. Huh? But that's just that's gaming. If you want a really good game and you want to add all this, like, really cool, like, up-to-date stuff by X person and so on and so forth, you have to pay the contracts. Again, it's why Rockstar doesn't, because Rockstar created their own. And then went, we don't have to pay you anything. And that's why that dude is trying to sue Rockstar. The guy, like, in the trailer to, like, Grand Theft Auto 6, you got the guy with the tattoos and all over his face that looks like a skull. He's literally trying to get money out of Rockstar because they used his likeness in the trailer. Odnav, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, that's joys of modern day gaming and so on and so forth. I hope that helps you understand why people don't like contracts in games and they make their own stuff. It's also funny because WWE games have a higher age rating since they simulate a real fight. Exactly. It's ridiculous. But there you go. That's why 10-year-olds play it. Because it's an adult game. It's also why Call of Duty don't use official names on their guns. So they don't have to go to arms experts and have to get a contract for their guns. Because it's all there. And if it actually has its proper name, then that means it's a contracted gun. Which means they're advertising real firearms. Which then they have to buy a license to actually advertise firearms in their video games. Because they're real. And then people wonder why they don't. People wonder why, like, games are so expensive. It's just too much paperwork. Right, what's next to break? What are you putting your money on? I'm putting my money on that one of the duplex parts are going to break again. Let's go, wash plant. You've only got 6 days left in your life. 6 days left and we can scrap this, disappear it. I'm going to go and, like, pay in my gold in a minute. Because this is my final cleanup. Well, I said it's not. I don't know. We could probably do one more. We could probably do one more up until winter, and then it's strip the whole thing down. Ugh. And it's 10 to 12. I've got an hour and a half left. An hour and a half. So I gotta go to my kids. I gotta go to my kids' carol service. So that'll be fun. And then tomorrow I've got to go to a nativity play. And then on Friday, I have no idea what's happening on Friday. I know the shopping's turning up on Friday. What time's that coming? Between 11 and 1. I might not be streaming on Friday because I don't know when the shopping's turning up. So I'll stream Friday night. because everything will be done then. That's fine. Should work the other way round, where the company pay the game studio to have. Yeah, well, I think they sort of do. So you would put out a contract where you get the license to be able to put stuff in the game. There probably is an agreement out there somewhere. If they make X amount of sales off of this because of a reference or something, then they could probably get money out of that as well. It's like a commission base. So if their sales go up, then they could maybe negotiate to have a commission-based sale thing in their contract. But I don't know. But I mean, if you can build a successful video game, you probably don't need the commission. Yeah, there's a lot of misuse. And that's where indie games come in. Indie games tend to look at games and go, okay, so if we can avoid these minefields, we can design our own stuff to put into it. That's sort of like this, but then it's not. Again, use Grand Theft Auto as the actual example, where GTA designed all their own cars and everything else off of real cars, and then didn't have to pay the license holders because they named it something different, and it's a tiny bit different. That's what China do in real life. You have a look at Chinese cars and Chinese bits and pieces, and basically what China do is they copy everything except for one thing. And the reason why they'll normally leave out one thing is so they don't have to pay the original people to build their own thing. They'll just do a cheap, nasty copy. It sort of looks like an Audi, but it's definitely not an Audi. And then they'll call it something like C967 3B Alpha or something. That's China market. Oh, it didn't fill up properly. Big power generator button has been destroyed. I don't think car brands would want to be in GTA if they asked. Yeah, of course they would. Why wouldn't you? Grand Theft Auto sells millions of copies around the world, and when someone gets older and they go, hey, I want that car from Grand Theft Auto, what was it? And if they turn around and say, oh yeah, it was the Audi R8, now you know what car you want to buy. It's free advertising. But not free. But there you go. I always wanted a Sabre Turbo. It means I have to go out and find out what a Sabre Turbo is. So if I take a Sabre Turbo and I go and look at the picture of it and chuck it in. Car brands want to be in something friendly like CMS. No, they don't. Why do you think Car Mechanic Simulator doesn't? It has like some of it is named. A lot of it's not. Like the DLC is, but the original base car games aren't, are they? And that's a DLC. That DLC is contracted. And that's why you only get like 4 cars in DLC. I need a button. The base game to Car Mechanic Simulator, does it have official cars licensed in the base game? I think it's a no. The DLC itself was a contract set up between, let's say, CM or Red Dot and BMW. And then BMW are like, hey, yeah, cool, you can use our cars, it's fine. It's free, it's advertising. But if you put a car in to GTA and said, you know, this is an Audi R8, and you get a 14-year-old kid who's quite sort of, I don't know, his parents don't really care. It's a mod to get real names. Yeah, I mean, if you look at like the, yeah, you can get the mod for it, but that means it's not officially licensed. But then if you look at the DLC, it's an official thing. You can get the BMW ones or the Camaro or, you know, like Dodge and this, that and the other. And they actually do have official cars. But that's because they have to, because the DLC is licensed to have official cars. But the base game itself, without a mod, doesn't have them. Ba-da-ba, ba-da. I think this is going to be my second to last full clean out. So that'll be fine. And then it's off, and then we're off. Off, 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 off. Bum, 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 bum. By the way, is it Range Dad, Ragnadad? Thank you very much for being like commenting over on Twitch. It's just for me that this game makes so much sense. It was for my Oddnav PT to the tailings pond with you. You're off. You're on tailings duty. Sorry, mate. And the only way you get back is if you donate your socks. Multiplayer is not a thing in this game. It will never happen in this game. There's no point in having multiplayer in this game. To the tailings pile with you. Bye-bye. Tailings pile workers are people who keep asking for multiplayer in Gold Rush that it doesn't need. Multiplayer in Out of Ore makes perfect sense. And the reason why it makes perfect sense is because of the size of the game. Gold Rush isn't a big game. You don't need multiplayer. You get bored. 8 hours sitting inside of an excavator whilst your friend digs a hole. Congratulations, welcome to multiplayer in Gold Rush. You don't need it. You definitely don't need it. It's like multiplayer in Hydroneer. Doesn't need it. Not many people use it, but it was added anyway because people bitched and moaned about it. Well, that's the problem. There is like more dobbies. The problem there is that companies like they look at everything as a moral thing. But like I'd say, if I was a car company owner, I would probably approach Rockstar and just say, look, hey guys, I'm actually willing to put my car brand in your game, and the reason why is because I really like the game. I see the potential in how many people are actually playing it. Also, it gives us advertising for future clients. Instead of going, oh, what's this car? I don't know what it is. You know, then I'd actually give them the official name. Because number one, it would build brand. It would build brand in the game itself. Because then they can incorporate your brand into an actual mission. Let's say you have to go and steal from this person's garage. It is a hybrid car brand, and those people are going, I wonder what these cars are actually like. And then someone might actually go out and buy that car because of Grand Theft Auto. I think companies nowadays are just too scared to take any sort of risk whatsoever because they're too hyped up on political agenda and bullshit that they keep putting into their corporations. I know, but for people who don't have much time, I mean, if you don't have much time, then I know it sounds weird, but I wouldn't play leaderboard if you didn't have much time. Multiplayer itself shouldn't be a thing, not in this game at least. But companies nowadays are too scared to do anything risky. They're too afraid of offending people, and they're too afraid of the backlash. And this is the problem with modern day life. Everything is controlled by a minority voice, and no one cares about anything else that's actually important in life. It's like, oh, you got to use the right this, you got to do this. My hair's dyed pink. I'm a unicorn. I don't give a fuck. It's that simple. Live your life. Be happy. Don't preach on me. I don't care. I don't care if you identify as a unicorn, shoving something up your ass and running around with a tail. It doesn't bother me. That's your life. But I see you as a human. I'm not going to call you a horse. It's that simple. It's the same with companies. They don't want to stick their foot in anything because then it's got bad branding. And going by, if you look at the way that Bud Light just went, they lost a shed ton of money because of one person, and that ruined most of their branding, and they lost a shed ton of money. Disney currently is like riding the wave of downhill syndrome because they went, oh, we're just going to put in a load of stuff into our stuff that no one actually really wants to watch. Look how that's faring for them. They've lost what, $100 billion? because of gender politics and like people's bits and pieces and they've put into it. Doctor Who has lost 2/3 of its audience because of what they're doing to Doctor Who. If you watch the 60th anniversary, I think it was something like 4.9 million people watched that, and that was the figure for it. Not my. I think I've made it up a little bit because it was about around 4 or 5 million people. The 50th anniversary was something stupid like 12 million people watched it, and it was because David Tennant came in and so on and so forth. The anniversary edition was literally, oh, look at Rose, isn't, you know, it's a trans person. I haven't got a problem with trans people, but when you make that the focus and then you're asking a fucking alien for its pronouns, it sort of sounds a bit like gender pushing, doesn't it? How you doing, Cosdiver? But this is the problem with modern day. Everyone is so focused on doing this sort of thing where they don't want to take a risk. They want to sort of abide by everything, and that's where it gets a bit silly. Like I said, I haven't got a problem with trans people. I haven't got a problem with like what people stand for. But when you start turning an entire like studio or movie studio or comic book series, even just down to an advert, and black people have had a go at this as well. And I find this funny. If you look at most adverts nowadays, they have to have a mixed-raced couple. Have to. It's part of the policy of the advert. Even black people are sitting there just going, why are we putting up with all these white people on our adverts? They're feeling the same fucking way. It's because they don't want to see a mixed race. They want to see a black couple because then they feel represented because it's their life. If you start looking at one example and then looking at another, it all starts to you're sitting there just going, it's all being done. But then, as it comes down to trying not to offend anybody. Look at the rewrites of the Oscars. If you want to see if you want to look into how the Oscars has to be voted for next year, for 2024, go and have a look at all the extra classes they put into it to make sure that everybody is represented. Comes even down to like writing and screen bits and this, that, and the other. Has to have like 3% of a minority in the writing team. Has to have this, and if you don't have one of those things, you don't get put in for an Oscar nomination. And I sat there and just went, you are? Because nowadays it's not all about the talent that's on the screen. It now comes down to how colourful your writing team is. And when I say colourful, I'm not saying that as a racist derogatory term. I'm saying that is you have to have one Indian person, one black person, one Chinese person, one white person, and 3 X people or whatever, because then that's everybody in your movie can now get like seen as being Oscar field. As a black man in America, most people that they show on commercials are definitely not heterosexual. Exactly. Do you feel represented because of that? Probably not. But then you're okay. The reason why they're not having a go, you're not having a go at them, is because you don't really give a damn what's on your TV. But there are people who are literally standing up and protesting that there's not enough representation because there's not enough gay people in it, or there's not enough lesbians, or there's not enough LGBTQ people like based in this one thing. And then you start getting rid of talent and having to start looking at things as, oh, well, you identify as a cat today, so we can put you into this film. But if you identify as a horse tomorrow, then you can't be in the film because Gerald identifies as a horse. That means Gerald's the best person for the part. And if Doreen over there identifies as an 89-year-old lady, we can put her in this film, but she can't be in that film because she doesn't identify as a 37-year-old blonde white woman with 3 boobs. It just gets a bit stupid. And this is where I'm sitting there just going, I just sort of give up. And this is why I don't watch anything based after 2012, because it's now starting to piss me off. It's also a reason why I quit Twitter, because I had this many arguments with people. That's why I love living in Mexico. They don't play that game. Unfortunately, it seems to be part of the Western world joys. Exactly. If you identify as a cat, you should have a litter box. Yeah, I would agree, actually, at that point. If you identify as a cat, you should be outside until midnight when we let you in through the cat flap. You know? But unfortunately, this is just me. And then I'll get called like racist, bigoted, I'm a homophobe. As said, I don't actually have a problem with all this. I don't have a problem with all this stuff. What I have a problem with it is pushing it on everybody else. I know. To put it into perspective, I have 2 sister-in-laws who are lesbians, who are happily like married, not to each other. They, they have their own partners, right? And then I have a friend who went through the whole trans thing because she used to identify, she had problems with how she was, and now she identifies as a man. I haven't got a problem with all this. That's just how people live their life. But what I don't like seeing is that I don't like it being seen as politicized. I don't like it being seen as like being pushed upon people to have to abide by that rule because of that one person. I don't like changing things for just one tiny thing when the rest of the world is just living their life and being happy. They call Eminem homophobe, but then he bought Elon Musk. Yeah. Elton John. It's just, I think it's just, everything just sort of, the world is focusing on the wrong things. When there's so many more problems on this planet, and now we're just wondering if somebody's had their penis chopped off, or fake boobs put in. It just doesn't make any sense to me anymore. It has gone a little bit crazy. But it's just the way I see things. I don't, if people agree with me, they agree. If they don't agree, then you're entitled to your own opinion. I haven't got a problem with people like this at all. What I have a problem with is it being pushed on people, and then I have a problem with kids being involved. I have a teenager in high school. They really are I've seen all these protests. It's the reason why Nick Merckx got into so much trouble last year about the whole leave the kids alone thing. I was one of those people who hashtagged leave the kids alone because this stuff shouldn't be in schools. I've seen parents stand up against school boards showing books that they're showing in their libraries, and then the school board are just like, well, you can't read that here. It's like, why? You're giving it to a 13-year-old child in the library, so why can't I read it in front of you? Yeah. But then that goes down that very long slippery slope of like indoctrination, and yeah, that's when it starts getting a bit ropey for conversations. Let's put it that way. I'm genuinely curious about how history will look. Well, if and going by it, I mean, if you pay attention to just Doctor Who in anything, like who's the guy? It was Edison. So I think Thomas Edison was represented in Doctor Who as a black man with long black hair. There you go. And then people had to go at Cleopatra because Cleopatra was being represented by a black woman and not a Greek woman, because they were at the time it was being called blackwashing, where they would just literally change like, even if it was just a story of like what they made up for Netflix, it's still misrepresentation of that person, and that's what people got pissed off with. If you're going to make a documentary, then you go by what actually happened. If you're going to make a piece of fiction, I don't care if Cleopatra was yellow. I don't care if she was purple with yellow spots like Mr. Blobby. And I can imagine Mr. Blobby sitting on the throne going, and Egyptians bending down. That's just funny to me. But if you're going to make a documentary that's based on real events, get it right. Yeah, but they shouldn't have done it. Ben Swaddling, how you doing? So yeah, I will. Unfortunately, I will be one of those people who occasionally gets slated for being certain things, but I can guarantee that I'm not. I just have a problem with the way it's all being pushed. The message, it's a wholesome message if you want to love somebody for whatever, and go for it. I haven't got a problem with it. But when you start politicising it, it gets a bit funky. Yeah. But there we go. Let's move on to happier topics. Let's talk about rainbows. Yeah, there we go. Old Man Gaming, you have a point because it's been pushed. Yeah. Been watching Parker since the first season. Cool. Yeah, Gold Rush, man. Like I've watched the first. I've watched every season. Seeing that kid go up from like being 17, owning a gold mine, to where he is now, he's done so well. Cleopatra would have had a bit, been darker skinned, only because of sun exposure. She was Greek, which means she was olive skinned. There we go. Even Greek people spoke up about this. Even an Egyptologist who is an archaeologist of Egypt said that Cleopatra was being misrepresented as being portrayed as a black woman. What do you think about the new Doctor Who stuff? I'm not watching it. I agree, unfortunately, people will disagree with me. I agree with Nerdrotic. I agree with the Fellowship on this one, and I genuinely agree with the fact that Doctor Who is doomed. Russell T Davis, is going to ruin Doctor Who going forward. And they don't by the way, the Doctor doesn't regenerate anymore. He bigenerates. And they had to add that term in because of the way that the new Doctor was brought into the series. And the original Doctor was a 12-year-old black girl who got abandoned on a train station. Because they don't come from Gallifrey. There you go. Your entire lore of Doctor Who just died on that one, on those last couple of episodes. Welcome to 21st century BBC. Yeah, because the Doctors aren't from Gallifrey anymore. I know it's a sci-fi series, but Whovians take this shit seriously. I'm not a Whovian, and I agree with them. So yeah, you're not allowed to say they come from Gallifrey anymore. They're part of the Lost Children. And the Lost Children were invented on the sole fact of Donna's, her Dr. Donna. There we go. Have fun. Enjoy it. But I won't be. In fairness, I sort of gave up on Doctor Who after, like, Capaldi. There's just something about it that just doesn't tick with me anymore, you know? I used to watch Doctor Who years ago, but it just sort of turned into something in the background and I just stopped watching it. Nothing to do with politics, I just got bored. But I do have friends who watch it, like, religiously. So I would count them as Whovians. Some of them seem to be happy with the changes, some of them not so much. I genuinely think it's all, again, Russell T Davis, he's changing too much. Like, his explanation of Davros was, well, we can't have Davros in a wheelchair because then it depicts all wheelchair users as evil, so they changed Davros. 50 years of stories gone down the drain. Yeah, exactly. They're not from Gallifrey, so that's the entire lore of where, like, a Doctor Who, Doctor Who came from in the first place. But Davros's thing, he was supposed to be a feared person, someone who was going to be, he was genuinely like a really good villain, like evil, twisted, and just wanted to kill everything, destroy the world, the Daleks, exterminate, all of that. And it was like, cool. And now Davros walks around on two legs because apparently representing disabled people in a wheelchair being evil is not good. And people in the BBC were feeling uncomfortable. Like, it's a fucking sci-fi program, just deal with it. Davros was amazing. Even people in wheelchairs were like, Davros is cool? Does that make me evil? Exactly, he wasn't in a wheelchair. That was a life support machine. But yeah, I sat there and watched. I didn't watch it because I'm not watching anything of Doctor Who anymore. I watch it through people on YouTube now, and those people are more aligned with how I think. So, if you watch Nerdrotic or Disparu, that sort of person, that's who I watch. I watch comic book people who have been in the industry for years, who know the stories, who know the lore. I watch them because they know more than me. Russell's explanation of the equivalent of, yeah, exactly. That's literally how it was. But the way that they've portrayed everything, and then I think the one nail in the coffin for me was what Donna and Rose said to the Doctor when they did their like buy thingy, and she goes, well, if you'd have stayed a woman, she would have understood. And then Rose turned around and said, I don't think a male, it was a man appearing Time Lord could understand what this is. And it's like, so you're now having to go at men. Cool. That did me in. I was like, nope, no more, done. So I'm just going to watch all the nails in the coffin of Doctor Who over the next few years and just watch it die, Russell T Davies will destroy Doctor Who. It's like Disney destroying Disney because of Bob Iger's decisions and the other guy they had in whilst Bob was on hiatus because he quit and then came back. Disney are doing the same thing. They've committed like they've killed their own studio right now. But then if you speak up about it, you are a bigot, you are a homophobe, you're not allowed to have these views on things because it doesn't fall into the political agenda of life. Which, unfortunately, seems to be something the Biden administration keep pushing. Moffat was the best of the Doctors, yeah. But this all started with Moffat. If you read some of the stuff that he wanted to do. He was a good writer, but then didn't want to put some of the stuff in this. But now it's all being put in because of Russell. It's going to be fun. But like I said, I'm as said, I haven't got a problem with anything. It's just when it starts getting pushed. So if you've got your own decisions of what you want to watch, be happy and watch them. Carry on. I haven't got a problem. But when you start seeing things as being pushed too much, that's when the problems start happening. And unfortunately, that's happening. Come back to me. Go on hold. There. Well done. Well done. Right, I think we can get one more. I'm going to get one more cleanup done and then I'm pretty much off this one. I probably won't get it done today, like fully, but I will be digging later on as well. Right, let's... Oh, I've got to do the wash table, haven't I? Oh no, I just did it. 449 ounces of gold. So we're lacking a little bit now. It means I found dead soil. Cos, thank you very much for becoming a member. Most appreciated. Boom to you, sir. You get a list of emojis you're allowed to use. Have fun with them all. They're all Rick and Morty inspired. So you can sort of tell by what sort of sense of humour I have. Rick and Morty! How you doing? Hey Morty, we gotta go. Gotta go to this planet. Gonna shove thumbs up my butt. I'm too drunk. Morty, you gotta fly the ship. I'm Pickle Rick. Shove him way up your butt, Morty. Right, we're done. Ta-da! If you want to know where my stance is as well, listen to Ricky Gervais. If you're offended, that's your fault. It's not mine. Even the BBC literally reviewed their... Yeah, I saw that. They said a couple of nice things and good things, but then they actually did have a go at their own programme. And said that it was a bit... Yeah, well, I'm going to say a bit iffy. You have to go and read the review itself. Oh, fudge, not another one. Which one broke? You know what? If I get it, I need to get through one more cleanup. So I've got like 6 days of digging left. One more cleanup, and that's it. I'm not going to keep repairing this bloody thing. It's not mine. It's rented. And I can't sell this stuff because it's not mine. I literally just get rid of it. Sucks to be you. I need another bucket. Equipment store, parts, bouquet. I've been messing around with the 3D printer and it's been fantastic. Cool, man. I love people who can do 3D printing. So you can solve so many problems with owning a 3D printer. Like, oh, my door keeps shutting. I can build my own doorstop. Hey, I need a hook to do this. I can make my own hooks to hang my own stuff up. And you never have to buy anything apart from the plastic. It's amazing. Conveyor bucket, conveyor bucket, conveyor bucket. There it is. I really hope I don't have to buy too many more of these. Mr. Steelhammer, I'm doing good, Patrick. Thank you very much for kicking by. I've had a couple of little rants. I've had a little fun, but you know, I speak my mind. It's all good. Genuinely, I'm doing all right. I'm fine. I'm happy-ish. What have I got left? I've got 68% left in that. That's 9%, so we should be looking at around 20-ish. 20-ish, 24-ish, maybe. I will see. Is the water hooked up? No, because I've just done a cleanup, which means I didn't attach it. And there we go. Now the water is watering. Right. Oh no, that's what. No. We've buggered up. We've buggered up. Let's do this quickly before everything goes Pete Tong. Everything's going Pete Tong. No. Buckets. Bouquets. There we go. We're bucketed up and ready to go. That's fine. We're all bucketed up and ready to go. And that is how you overlook things and go, I'm alright. You're not. I've done that a couple of times. Also, I did a clean up yesterday and no one told me during the stream, because I did it during the stream, no one told me I only put 3 buckets under my duplex jigs. Been a long time since I stopped by. Last time you were playing Car Sim 2021. Oh man, that was a couple of years back. The reason why I stopped playing it is because I burnt out. I'm brutally honest, I burnt out playing that because I did too much too quick. Like, the guide was completely fine. I should have stopped at the guide and had a rest. But because I did the guide and then like 4 seasons of like Car Mechanic Simulator where I was trying to put together like a actual story, you know, because I owned the Rusty Nuts garage and I had certain people working for me and I did like all the nice transition stuff. That was a lot of work. It would just kill me. Like, I've tried to go back to it a couple of times. I did a video probably a couple of months ago now of a Ford Bronco, and by the end of that video, after I'd finished it, I was just sitting there going, I don't need to play this for very much longer. I was done. So I'm hoping like the next Car Mechanic Simulator, whenever it comes out, I'll play it again and I'll see where things go, but I genuinely just can't get back into it. I think I've got to take my time next time. Also, there will be a couple of videos coming out from my garage. I think they're going to go like next year, because the developer said that he's going to be doing something for YouTubers. Now, I think if the YouTuber wins, because it's going to be a creative thing, if the YouTuber wins, then it's like they get keys and stuff they can give out to their subscribers. Your guides were my go-to for sure. Most appreciated for that work. No, that's right. When did you start playing Gold Rush? Man, I started playing Gold Rush about 4 years ago. I played it quite a bit and then killed myself on it. And then a couple of years later, up till September, I started recording a series, and I was like, you know what, I'm really liking this. And then I was like, I'm going to do a leaderboard. I just got back into playing it, and over the last couple of days, I've realised that people actually enjoy watching it. So I'm probably going to participate in a couple more season modes over the next year. Probably not them all, but then being part of the Discord again and actually reading through the messages, because it's a new team, new developments and bits and pieces, I'm like, actually there could be something here. And then they were talking about DLC. I'm like, there's definitely something here. So yeah, I'm gonna be keeping Gold Rush around as a thing. So I might not carry on with my my season, but it's something I'm looking into doing a lot more of later as well. Like, I don't mind doing the leaderboard things. Is fine. It's like, you know, spend 30 days just chilling out, digging and talking to people. I'm good with that. When it comes down to actually like doing anything else, yeah, I'm not. I don't think I will be doing a video after this and I'll probably talk about my experiences on the leaderboard and how I feel and so on and so forth. But genuinely, the way I see it right now, if I had to say something about like what I would do as a future commitment to this game, it would probably be that I want to do leaderboards, and that's fine. But then I don't want to do seasons because I don't want to do videos of it, because doing videos takes a really long bloody time. To put it into perspective, if I'd have recorded the last couple of streams, which were between 4 and 5 hours long, just playing this game alone, then that would have been, let's say I took that 5-hour recording and I turned it into a video. I'd be editing it for like 8 hours, 9 hours, maybe even more. And then I've got to try and like edit it down to a 20-minute video, which is not very easy to do. And then I'm going to get disappointed by how many people who don't watch it. So when it comes down to Gold Rush, for some reason, people enjoy watching it, so why not stream it? You get the joys of actually watching it live, so you're able to have a conversation with me, and it sort of works as a sort of podcasty radio thing. So people have this on in the background. They could be doing whatever. I mean, as long as, well, I don't know. Yeah, you could be doing whatever in the background, and then you'll just have me yabbering to myself like a flipping weirdo, and at the same time you're being slightly entertained whilst doing whatever you're doing. So it's all right. And then if you want to watch the replay, you got a 5-hour podcast to listen to. So that's all good. It's like Gold Rush FM. It's just unfortunate I can't play music that's copyrighted because I don't have enough money to like pay for it myself. But yeah, I don't mind it. You're sorting out your room. Exactly. So I'm sitting there on your screen waving and being like, woo, check out this game. And you're doing whatever you want to do. And that's fine. I love it digging whilst listening. There you go, see. It works as a podcast, and at the same time it works as mild entertainment. Unfortunately, this mild entertainment, goes off on little like rants and stuff every now and then, but it's all right. I mean, if I shut up and just turn the music up, you can just listen to music whilst I dig. So yeah, there's lots I could do. Yeah. You can sort the kids whilst looking. I thankfully don't have to do that. My kids are at school. I've actually got to come off in like an hour because of them. I've got to go and watch a carol service today with Logan. Well, he's in it. I'm just watching. The rants just add to the fun. No, it's just joys of life. I say that a lot. The joys of life, and it's all good. They're the best. Why am I driving? I don't need to be driving. I can just teleport. Abracadabra, move me over there. Let's go. My kids just left for school. Yeah, because you're on the other side. You're on the other side of the planet, mate. Oh, sorry, on the other side of the flat pizza disc. Apparently, that the flat earthers believe. That's funny as hell. The flat pizza disc of Earth. Or is it a donut now? I can't remember which shape the Earth is now. The planet is a donut. Yeah, well, some people have actually said that, and then I just have to sort of, I don't know. There's only a certain amount of times I can hear that before I just have to laugh in people's faces. You're off school today because you threw up. Oh, you got the bug. Mate, that's not cool. We had it, not last week, the week before. And it's disgusting. There are so many. By the end of last week at my kids' school, there was 100 students in. That was it. 100 students on the Friday. It was weird. Like on Monday when everyone came back, everyone was there. I was like, it's amazing. It's like a tidal wave of people again. But there was nobody there last Friday. Last Friday was like ghost town. It was weird, really weird. Right, please wash plants. Stay together for at least one more go. We'll be fine. 12 buckets, that's all you got to survive. So did you try the day before? No, I can't because they closed the studio before I was going to give it a go. Oh, if there is one major disappointment that's made me laugh this year, it's that game. I told people from almost day one when I started seeing screenshots for that game, it was a scam. but nobody listened. Then other people were calling it a scam, and nobody listened to those people either. The people who were calling it a scam, like me and others, we were just told it was, you can't see that as an optimal. It's not. What's the word? You're being pessimistic. You should have more positive thoughts. It's like the game looks like crap, but apparently I'm wrong. The day before bankrupt. It wasn't. They were bankrupt a year ago, mate. They were getting volunteers to finish their game because they couldn't afford a development team. Fnatic are just they were the worst. I watch a YouTuber called Kira. Yeah, I think I've heard of that person, who has been doing over a year of 1 hour episodes calling it. Yeah, we've all been calling it a scam. And the problem is, if you called it a scam, you were told that you were wrong and it was going to be an amazing game. And I sat there and just said, prove me wrong. This was in comments. I never said this like publicly because I never had an opportunity to talk about it. No one ever asked about it. But I would always agree with people who were genuinely saying it was a scam. It is a hold my beer thing. Like, I got called out so much. Like, the comments on YouTube are more like, you have two ways of thinking. You can either say it's a scam and, that's just your gut feeling. Or you say, well, I hope it's not a scam. We'll see how things go. When I started seeing the screenshots to it, I was like, okay, it looks a little bit like The Division. This could be pretty cool. Can I add you on Steam? Yeah, go for it. Sorry. That's why there's a link in the description box. So when I was seeing the screenshots, I was like, okay, it has potential, but I don't think there's something about it that looks a bit wrong. But then it started to look like The Division with like their cityscapes and everything else. I was like, it feels a little bit weird. And then the trailers started coming out, or the character movements started coming out. I was like, this isn't good. When I started seeing like the muzzle effects of the guns and the sound effects, I was like, this is going to be a scam. Because they were basically using a heavy asset machine where they were buying assets from other games and being like, okay, we can do this, it's cool. And I was like, this isn't good. And then when the trailers dropped, when they were doing like the copy of the trailer, they were doing this, I was like, no, don't buy it, it's going to be crap. And then people were like, over the last few days, people have spent what, 30 quid on that game, and then all of a sudden the studio's broke because they're now going to be issuing refunds. Like themselves. Read the comments. I think it sits currently at, I'll show you, I'll bring up Steam, the day before. If I could type, it would be amazing. The day before, there you go, it's still on Steam, but you can't buy it. So it's now sitting at 21,607 overwhelmingly negative comments. These are reviews. Don't dead open inside. Yeah. The day before, buy. The day after, refund. 10 out of 10. I got a refund after 4 hours. That's how bad this is. The company pulled a scam and closed down. 1 week after EA release, I actually respect Steam for allowing this refund. I completely agree. Greatest scam in gaming history. Do you remember all the people like, oh yeah, we're going to buy this game, it's going to be amazing. Like 150,000 people wishlist the game. And now it's got 21,000 people who just don't like it. Every single one of these people, apart from apparently this person, remember no Russian, early access review, basically product refunded. Everybody is a product refund. Because everybody got a refund. I like this one. They released the day before and closed the day after. That's 2023 as a comment. Love that comment. So yeah, bad. Big Fry made a video showing things in the trailer and saying, yeah, that doesn't exist. Exactly. I'm one of those people who I was watching those videos going, yeah, it doesn't exist. And they basically just did an asset flip. There was no actual writing. And then the thing that started like worrying me when people were like, yeah, we're really looking forward to this, it's fine, is when they said, oh yeah, we're getting volunteers in to like do the rest of the studio. These people are going to have access. They're going to be able to do this. Apparently they didn't even have access to early game. Like they were building the game for Fnatic for free. They were volunteering their time to build the game. That's not how games should go. I also, yeah, as well, I'll pick them all up a bit later. It's just right now gaming, and I'm not going to, just in case like other people want like add you. I'd rather not show your names on Steam. or on stream, just in case. You know, you might get flagged by a weirdo, and then you get stalked, and then that person's going to come around and start spraying like confetti up your nose. You know, that sort of thing. Well, I think that's called a clown wank. Confetti. It's a clown wank. I'm so sorry. It's like a window in a window. Oh yeah. Oh, we got double window, have we? Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I do that occasionally. I've got to do this. I've got to set up an actual scene where I just flick it over and it's like me in the corner and like the screen opens up. I just haven't got around to doing it. I just open up a spare window and then I forget to close it. I am. Yeah. It happens quite a lot. Like I genuinely keep messing up. My name is about the exact same and everything. Yeah, same with me. Like on my PlayStation, my name's the same. On my when I was on Xbox, and I'm still on Xbox like Live, my name's the same. I don't use any other name, and the reason why is because it's my gamer tag. So everything is Hybridsteel. And yeah, that's just the joys of where my name came from. It's really hard thinking up a gamer tag, especially in like when I made it. It was like 2000 and shit. When did the Xbox 360 come out? When did I buy one?
Years ago.
When the Xbox 360 came out, and everyone's like, "Hey, we need a gamer tag." I'm like, I don't know what to call myself. My gamer tag and my name, Hybridsteel, comes from two different places. Number one, Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park, probably in my eyes their best album ever. And I don't listen to anything else but Hybrid Theory and Meteora, because after that Linkin Park went sort of mainstream. Not a big fan. But Hybrid Theory is like a really cool album. Really enjoyed it. So that was where Hybrid came from. The steel part literally just comes from I used to work in a metal factory. So steel. That was it. It's not exciting. No, I can't play. Come on. Up, 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 up. There we go. There we go. Teetering on the edge of disappointment. Hybrid Theory is still a really good album. I completely agree. It's some of Chester's best work. Rest in peace, that man. And Chris Cornell. I've had the gamer tag War Giver since 1998 in every game I've ever played. Cool. I used to be known as Bloodchain on Diablo. Mainly just because I was a barbarian, and that was it. I was like, what am I going to call myself? Hey, I'll use one of those random name generator shit on Google you can get. Bloodchain was my name. Aluminium or aluminum? It's aluminium.
Aluminium.
Or aluminum. It's aluminium. Do-do-do-do-do. Aluminium. Do-do-do-do. But then an American can say aluminum, doop doop doop, aluminum, doop doop doop. For song purposes, aluminum. For pronunciation, properly, aluminium. Mine originates from StarCraft. My main tactic at the time was terrain overwhelming Marines. Oh, Terran, sorry, not terrain. Sorry, I read that wrong. Just got lunch, tuna jacket. I had double breakfast, so I don't have lunch. Came to a conclusion, it's actually good for me. So what I do is I have two breakfasts, one at 6 o'clock in the morning and one at around 9:30 till 10. And then I stream. And then I don't eat anything until like 5, 6 o'clock. And it's actually good for me because I don't need to eat during the day. I'm a fat person. So I've got enough to live on. I went with Soldier of the One because I love Battlestar Galactica. That's cool. My uncle's a Battlestar Galactica fan and a Babylon 5 fan. So I sort of grew up with it, but I don't really watch it. I just grew up with it. But if it means something to you, That's all right. Do you mean fluffy, not fat? No, I genuinely mean fat. I'm not as famous as Gabriel Iglesias to be able to be called fluffy. I'm fat. That has to change though. I mean, I went for my health check because I hit 40 and they're like, yeah, you have to have a health check just to make sure your blood pressure's fine. I'm like teetering on the edge of just like, I'm okay, but I could be better, you know. Just like me in real life, I'm okay, but I could be better. So yeah, I've just got to change a couple of things and just make things. I'm hoping that being like eating 2 breakfasts and then not eating anything until 5 o'clock in the morning, like at night, 6 o'clock at night, is like it's almost 12 hours without food. So it actually might be good for me because I've got enough inside me to keep myself going. I weigh myself every week anyway, so I'll figure that out. It's okay, man. Hey Hybrid, do you have any cool movies or TV show props? I have. Well, actually, I do. Not props, as in like not a prop, but him. He's pretty collectible. So he comes from RoboCop. He is ED209, and back in the 80s we had cap guns. So he's an actual cap gun. So you load your caps into the back, and then you clip it back down. And you pull your trigger and then it caps off. Unfortunately though, when I moved him like 20 years ago, he broke. But it still works as a toy. And then my brother bought me a DeLorean. And then I've got that. And that is for promotion of the new Skate game that's coming out at some point when EA get around to finishing it. I love the scene when the guy gets shot with a gun and then told it was... yeah. It's all good. But yeah, the skateboard is one of the rarer things. So that the skate deck came from... I won a competition in the EA Discord. And they were like, hey, we want to see some like retro shots from like Skate 3. I'm like, cool. So I went out of my way. I loaded up Skate 3 and I went and did like an old school Thrasher shoot. So I was skating around and I took a couple of like screenshots and bits and pieces, changed some of the effects so it looked a little bit like more 90s like magazine style. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I got an email from what's his bloody name? I can't remember his name now, but he worked on like Battlefield and he works for EA. And he said, dude, we've got your shot. We're actually, you've won the competition. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, well, we need your address so we can send you something because you've won a competition. I'm like, cool. And then I got that deck. So this is number 81 of 500. So there's only 500 of these in the world. But I think they're on batch 3. I think they've done so far. The problem with that deck though is that number one, I don't skate, so it's never going to get used. And number two, what they did is they did the first run of like 500, and then they changed the deck design to another design. The problem is as a competition winner, you can't win another deck, so I couldn't make a collection of them. So I got one. But then there are like 4 other designs out there now. But it's all unique pieces that they don't get redone. So that was just me. Apart from that, we've got Wheeldale Yankovic as a pop figure. Spider-Man as a zombie. I've got my Rick and Morty 3D poster. My Borderlands 3 mask, which I got as a free promotion when I bought Borderlands. The best I got in life, a life-size Dalek from 3005 I'm building. Oh, 2005. Wow. I mean, you've got years to build it. It's fine. But yeah, I used to have a few more collectibles, a bits and pieces. But over the time of having kids, I just sort of trusted them less. Especially when they started trying to open up my pop figures. I'm like, okay, I'm selling them. Done. And I think I made like, I used to have the Home Alone collection, so Marv, Harry, and Kevin. I used to have Jay and Silent Bob. I sold all those because Oliver started opening them, and he ripped through Kerry's ones. I'm like, okay, I'm selling mine before all that happens to me. So I sold them all, and so the only ones I've got are Weird Al, which I found at a boot fair, and the Sentry Bot from Fallout 4 because my brother bought it for me. But then we were looking at some of the ones that he's, because my brother works for a B&M, and he was like, I bought some of these artist ones. I'm like, okay, cool. And that some of those are worth way more than what they actually, like what they sell for. So if you go and buy these artist rendition, like Marvel figures, like not Marvel figures, but pop figures from B&M, wait a couple of years and put them up on eBay, they'll be worth like triple or even quadruple of what they're doing now. Did y'all get Dr. Demento? No. Not that I can remember. Can't have anything nice. No, you can't. I don't have... So I don't have really any physical media because of my kids. I don't have DVDs. I don't really have CDs. I have a box of CDs elsewhere. They're not out on display. I don't really have anything because of them. Because my kids will pick them up, scratch discs and so on and so forth. My PlayStation is a discless PlayStation because of my children. I don't trust them. So I haven't got discs because of them. When they're more responsible, I might start buying DVDs and stuff again, because at some point it's going to get stupid to keep paying for like different streaming services just to watch a film when I could just watch it off of a DVD. I still know people who buy DVDs and stuff now from CX for like £1, because at some point it will come back round. You know, vinyls come round. Guaranteed people are going to be like, well, I better get myself a CD soon, because it'd be nice to listen to in the car, because the MP3 player doesn't work anymore. So there we go. Right, I need another core. I think my entire season, I've bought 3 of these. So that's not bad. So the cost on these is £1,500. I've spent £4,500 on these motors, and I've earned 1.7 million. I think that's a good. I think that's a good take. I think that's all right. Shit, did I buy this or am I renting it? I can't even remember. I think I bought this. I got to take it with me. Oh, bums. Are you gonna highlight so I can screw it back in? No. Awesome. Yeah, I just don't trust kids. Not with my stuff. Kerry doesn't trust them with her stuff. They're ravage. You got kids aged 9 and 19, so I've been through... Yeah. Well, the other night I had to get all the Christmas baubles out of Logan's bed. So if that puts you into like the whole, like, he's a hoarder, that's what my kid does. So that was fun. I went to go and tuck him back into bed, because like, what I do before I go to sleep, I literally, like, you know, get them in, I put them back up on their pillow because they're like in funny positions, wormed around the bed. So I put them back in their pillow, I put the covers back on, and Logan's wrapped around baubles. Like, there's baubles all in his bed. It's like, you're an idiot. You're an absolute bloody idiot. So I had to clean out his bed last night and then put him back to sleep. You got over 200 DVDs. Yeah, no, I had... Oh, shit. My DVD collection at one point was an entire... Oh, would you stop breaking? Well, it's on right now, it's fine. Conveyor belt bucket's been destroyed. Buttons are being destroyed. The world is going to pot, man. I had a 4-shelf stack of DVDs on a bookcase, and that was almost doubled up. And then on top of that, I had 3 stacks of DVDs. And I mean, the bookcase and the DVDs used to stand taller than me, and I'm 5'8" and a half. I'm 5'8" and a half. I was officially measured. That half an inch I was denied most of my life, because everyone just measured me up at 5'8". I have 4 kids that live with me full time and 4 more. Wow. We love having them from the summer. Hold on. Got to put some stuff away when the grandbabies come for the summer. Yeah. And when they come for the grandparents, that's fine. My parents are the same. Like if we go up and visit, they love them. But my parents are more happy that they get to give them back. I probably shouldn't say this, but I know you. You're 13 and you're 5'9", and you were born in this century. I was born in the 80s. I'm from a different generation of dwarf. I'm just. My brother's 6'2". So I just got the short end of the stick. My brother down from me is 6'2", and then my other brother's 5'9", 5'10". What's broken? There it is. Ting. 80s for me. Yeah, being born in the 80s is just one of those things. I've got another button, haven't I? Let me go and get the button. 60s here. Yeah, you know, I mean, my dad's... He was born in 66. No, my mum was born in 66. My dad was born in 65. I got quite young parents. I still say that. I mean, my dad's 58 and my mum's 57, but it's like, you know, compared to like other people of my age, they don't have. Some of them haven't got them anymore. You know, that sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I'm sort of grateful that I have younger parents. I mean, so 1969. You're a boomer. I think there's a boomer generation. Is it boomer generation or Gen X? I can't remember what it is. But to put it into perspective, I do sort of like tag more into like the Gen X side of life. The way they did stuff is literally how I was brought up. So I was born a millennial, but I've got like a Gen X brain. The 60s was my favourite decade. We got classic stuff like Herbie and also Doctor Who. Yeah, but you're young. So the 60s for like average person probably wasn't that great. But when it comes to like cult classic television and stuff, yeah, it's always going to be remembered. The best generation of all time and the best time of human existence was the 90s. Because, I mean, after that, it's all gone a bit downhill, really, hasn't it? Yeah, I mean, my mum had cancer 5 years ago. So, yeah, as soon as I found that out, I put down everything. I was like, I'm going to Wales. I just went down to be with her. Like, and then, like, a couple of years later, Kerry was down with cancer. I was like, for fuck's sake. So yeah, it's been it's not great. Anybody that goes through it, I have sympathy for. It's disgusting. It's horrible. What annoys me the most is like you get all these charities like we set up for like cancer research and stuff, and then it doesn't. The survival rate's getting better, but it's like it doesn't seem like it's fast enough. You know what I mean? It's like all that money, all that research is like, oh, where's it all gone? Huh? Being a teen in the 80s was awesome. I wasn't a teen in the 80s. I was young. So 83 to 93, I was 10. I remember some of it, but like there's that piece of research is like for the first 10 years of your life you don't really remember much else. So even when you get older you don't really remember the first 10 years because your brain's still developing. It's like, okay, cool. I remember bits, but I don't remember it all. Just post a picture of my DVD collection on the Discord. I'll look at it later. I've got literally half an hour until I've got to come off. So I just want to get as much of this done. If I can get like a full load done up to 100%, that's good for me, and then I can do the rest later. And then I'm just going to play. So chances are tomorrow when I come onto my stream, I might be just about to go into Nighthawk, so which would be cool. What are we down to? We're done. 55%. Yeah, we need like 2 and a bit. Or 2 more loads. 2 more truckfuls. Can we do it in half an hour? Maybe. As long as I can get up the hill and nothing else breaks. Nothing else. Please don't break. I was born in 1991. My dad taught me how to navigate Windows to find my game because he knew Mum wouldn't remember. That sounds about right. Mums are good at certain things. Dads were good at others. Now it's all a bit... You know, I mean, Kerry's like way more advanced than I am. Like, when it comes to intellect, she's better than me. When it comes to practicality, I'm better than her. When it comes to logic, I'm better than her. When it comes to everything else, she's better than me. It's that simple. We complement each other quite well. I'm a dumbass most of the time, but then I have my moments of glory. I just worry for my future niece being born in this generation. I don't know, because kids nowadays are, I mean, you get, I would say the generation you got to worry about really are the Gen Z. Right, they're the ones that seem to have like a lot of problems. Generation, I think they're called Generation Alpha now. So we've gone around the alphabet once, right? So Generation Z, Gen Z are the ones you had to worry about. All the late millennial as well. So late millennial, Gen Z are the ones that are like messing around with shit. Gen Alpha are like, we don't really do this. It's wrong. It's crap. It's disgusting. You know that. And generally, they're actually all right. You hate Gen Z. You are a Gen Z. You hate your own generation. But, you know, that's choice. Like, for millennials, there's 2 types of millennial. There's the early millennial, which are the ones born in the 80s. Then there's the late millennial, that are born in the 90s. And unless you were like, if you're the first child and you were born in the 90s, then you don't really have a basis of like how the older generation worked. So for people like me who were born in the 80s, and my brother who was born in the 80s, my youngest brother who was born in the 90s sort of lives the same way that we do, because we were there before him to sort of guide him down that sort of road. If you don't have like older siblings who can help you out from a generational jump, it's a bit more difficult because you're brought up in a specific way. It's stupid that we went around the alphabet since it started with started at Boomer, or the Golden Age, wasn't it? I can't. It was like the pre-war. I can't remember what they were called. But yeah, it's weird. So we started at X. We're now at Generation Alpha for the 2020s, and it's an interesting time now. Because you now have kids actually standing up against things that a lot of, like, I would say, like, political ways are actually like they want things to move this way, but the kids are actually standing up and saying, no, we don't want it. So there's hope. There is hope. I'm a redneck and the wife is a Yankee. She has the Boston accent. So she talks like this all the time. Yeah, she sounds like Jess. But Jess has got a weird, like a mixed accent in herself. She's got a Boston sort of country accent. It's like having my accent. I don't come from London, but I've got the twang in my accent because I'm from the southeast. Before the boomers, it's the greatest generation. Yeah, they're the ones who built countries. The silent generation, they're the ones who just went, yep, we'll get on with it. Don't worry, it's cool. And they just kept going. I like that mentality. Just keep going. Don't care. Do it. Carry on. We'll get through this. It was a silent generation that went. That was the Depression era for us. Oh, in the US, sorry, not for us. Then it was the greatest generation was the World War II. Then Boomers, Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z, and finally Gen Alpha. Yeah, Serenova. So Serenova's from the Boston area. She's around that area. So when you say that you've got a wife who's a Yankee, there you go. Now you can talk to somebody else who's a Yankee. But yeah, it's all good. Millennials are also Gen Y. No, we're millennials. We didn't get a word. We didn't get a letter. We got a word. Sent a pic on the. Oh, excellent. Oh, please let this be the last one. It was Gen Y before they invented the word millennial. I prefer the word millennial, but I would prefer like millennial plus a millennial, or millennial A, millennial B. Mainly because there are two types of millennial. You get millennials who were brought up by Gen Z, like the Gen Xers, who were more like, we don't care, go out and play in the traffic and we'll be fine. And then you get the millennials who are later on who just sort of, they didn't take all those lessons in, they just sort of started to sit in front of computers more because that was what they had. For us, we didn't have computers, so we went out and played with sticks and stones and threw stuff at like everything. But I would say the later millennial are they're the first cyber generation. We were just sort of picking it up. They were born into it, like Bane, you know. We had to adapt. They were born into it. I genuinely think that like that was probably the downfall of humanity at that point. Computer technology and social media. There we go. That's the crux of the problem. Destroy it. To a point. I still like streaming. Good point. The difference. Yeah. Exactly. So for us in the 80s, we were just told to go out and play. You know, we went down to the river, we went down to our play parks, we went out a lot. But then when you get into like the later millennials who like they're the first generation that like really got onto like the computer side of things. They were like, oh well, consoles are getting better, so they were brought up on that. They were more of the generation of, look, you got a place that you've got your Mega Drive, go and play, or you've got your Sega Saturn, go and play, or you've got TV, go and play. And we had a TV, it had 4 channels. And then lots of people got into like Sky and so on and so forth. So I don't have a Boston accent. I have a New England accent, but my mother has a Boston. Well, you've got a little bit of a Boston twang to you because of your mum, but yours is more New Hampshire because you've lived there
it pops out
a lot. Yes, when you get angry, we know what you sound like. I've heard it. There's an angry American lady in my living room. No, it's just Jess on the phone. It's fine. Growing up with computers has been it's been a boon in your career. Not so much for the other things. That's the thing. I mean, it's the generational thing. I think with computers and social media and everything else, I think this was where things started to go a bit wrong. You know, it needs to be dialed back a bit, but it's not going to happen. I think at some point it'll level itself out, but you've probably got another like 20, 30 years of like technological leaps and bits before people just go, we don't really need anything else. We're happy now. You know, where things are, we should be okay. Because right now, tech's moving so fast that you can't really keep track of it. So the generations are getting screwed up because you got this new thing and this new thing and this new thing and this new thing. And now it's like, what am I supposed to focus on? Whereas before we had touch-tone telephones and sticks. If you were lucky. If not, you just had stones. Because you didn't have any trees around you. You had a car park. Our generation has kind of gone off. Well, no, there's a lot of I would say a lot of the younger kids are attached to mobile phones. Or no, tablets. They've gone up. They're not really much in the computer side of things. It's easy access. So you've gone from like doing stuff on computer or playing consoles to just having everything in your hand. So yeah, that's the difference now. VR's the next thing, and I was excited about VR back in the 90s when like they started showing like the first rendition of VR, and that was pretty cool. But seeing where it's all going now, VR's like the next thing. So if you watch Back to the Future 2, I know it's set in 2015 and we're supposed to have flying cars, but when those kids are like, hey, you have to use your hands, that's a kid's toy. That's because they're VR'd. Everything's virtual reality. Everything's all like, you don't have to use your hands anymore. It's all just in front of you. So it's augmented reality and virtual. That's where tech's headed. I'm glad I've grown up with a 20-year-old sibling. Yeah, it does help. It grounds you. Like not being stuck outside, but it grounds you in the more mentality thing of like things aren't as bad as they could be. Or the back in my day, my prejudices against today's kids is they never learn to handle a computer beyond the browser. So yeah, my kids are on our kids. We have tablets for them, and their tablets are huge. I was talking about this yesterday. They're on YouTube and bits and pieces, but that's literally it. They don't really know how to use anything else. But I've got this feeling by the time they're sort of 10, I would have probably built them a computer by then. Because I can do one like, I mean, the one that Kerry's got now that I put together because it was cheaper than buying a bloody laptop, let's put it that way. So her computer is sort of good for what she uses it for, and I'm like, actually we could build like a couple of these and the kids would actually be okay with it. It gives them a bit more of an option when it comes to gaming as well. They still have the Xbox app, so they would be able to play games. They don't need a games console because the computer itself is good enough to play. So yeah, and that's probably where my kids are going to go. And I've got to be honest, I'd probably want them to go on PC more because it gives them a more future education. If they want to go into like anything, like design work, gaming or coding or anything else, they have that ability. You can't do that on a gaming console, which sort of limits the idea of moving forward. And my kids are quite intelligent. They're not like me, they're like Kerry. She's intelligent, they're intelligent, I'm the dumbass. We're waiting for a company to come and put in our bathroom floor. They meant something like, yeah, they don't turn up on when they're supposed to. They teach coding here starting in 6th grade. That'd be handy. It's a good job to get into. It's really, you get quite a lot of money for it. Growing up in the 90s, my parents forbid consoles in our home until we were 15, but we could use the PC to play because it's a good tool to know for just not for entertainment. Yeah, in Carter. Oh, in Carter was amazing. Huh? In Carter was amazing. It was like the world. It was the world encyclopedia on one disc. It was good. I wanted to get inside it. I wanted to go into electronics as a job, so I can write on my robotics hobby. Do it and get into it now. It's the best time for you. When you're young, it's easier to mould you. When you get older, it's a little bit harder to restart an old MS-DOS PC. So if you can do things now, yeah, my PC's on MS-DOS. It boots every now and then, has trouble. I don't remember some of the code. It's just gone out the window, and no one wrote down the instructions. So that's just my brain. Build a combat robot. Yeah, go and build Robot Wars. I think America still do sort of Robot Wars. I think it's called Battle Bots or Battle Robots, but it's better than like UK. Like there's a lot more dangerous robots on it. I think we stole the idea. Like America did it, and then the UK sort of went, yeah, we could do this and call it Robot Wars, and then it was just like, yep, done. Look up Hybridsteel bot builders. There you go, Ben. Go check them out. Robot Wars now. They brought back Robot Wars a couple of years back, and they had Dara O'Brien doing the narration. It was really good. Carbide will always be my favourite robot now. Carbide was a brute, and then it died. I was a chemical English and then retired. I'm a scuba instructor. I have a friend who's scuba. I think he is a scuba instructor. He's a teacher. I think he teaches scuba diving and stuff during the summer, and now he's an actual. I think he's an actual teacher in school. So he's an educator. He's good at doing what he does. Robot Wars with Jeremy Clarkson. Then it was Robot Wars with Craig Charles, and then it was Dara O'Brien. Carbide in BattleBots is a completely different bot. You ever look at Carbide in like the UK version? That motor sent chills down my spine. Like I've never sat there and just gone, oh, this is going to be a dangerous one. I watched Carbide and just went, ugh, because when the motor started up, it just went, and you could hear it in the arena, and it was like it sounded more dangerous than Hypnodisc, and Hypnodisc was a legend. Carbide was like it ripped robots apart. It flung them up in the air. There was one point where it ripped off a piece of steel off of another robot, and it got wedged in the gorilla glass that they use as the protection around the arena. It was stuck in it. It was like, oh my god, it was like goosebump style. What I'll do, actually, I can't really show it. Let me finish this. This should get to 100%. It's at 57. We're at 88. I'll see if I can find a video of Carbide. We can chuck it. I'll chuck it up on stream. But it's one of those times you sat there and just went, ah. I see more people now every stream on Twitch. It's slowly going up. Yeah, it is. It's going up. I don't mind if people lurk as well. I mean, lurkers are cool. They're just there to chill. They're looking for a podcast. They're looking for a way just to unwind in life, and it's all good. I'm not going to make 90. I'm not going to make 100%. That's going to blow a goat. Oh, you bellend. And we haven't got any more dirt. I'm going to have to do one. I've only got 15 minutes to go. We're in the same predicament as we were yesterday. Right, I need one more bloody truck full of dirt in 15 minutes. Screwed. Let's go. Pardon me. Be you angels? And we said nay. We are but miners. Rock. Oh, going up the hill. There we go. Well done. Getting old. It's getting old. Need new wheels. Need to turn the traction up in the game. That's diabolical. Right. Let's go. No. Don't drive. Oh, that was close. Right, let's not drive. No. Let's not drive off the cliff. That wouldn't be a good end to the stream, would it? I listened to the replay yesterday. I played Hybridsteel podcast. Yeah, it's basically a podcast. One of the good things about my siblings and family, I feel like I grew up in the early 2000s and my parents. Yeah, that's a good thing, man. It just means you've got a better mindset on you. You learn more. Like if people share their knowledge from like previous generations, it's fine. Crisis, how you doing, bud? But yeah, I mean, to put it into to everybody that's watching now, when this like season mode is finished after season 30, I tend to stream just random games. So come by for the chat, come by for everything else. I do play other games, honestly. It's just right now it's like Gold Rush season. It's my first one ever. It's a laugh, And if you are liking it, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button below for all other updates. Get yourself some hybrid merch if you really, really want to, or you can become you can become a member on YouTube, or you can use your Amazon Prime subscription on Twitch, because it wouldn't be you spending money unless you really want to. But I would say use the Prime subscription because then it's free for you and not for Amazon, so it's fine. Amazon make enough money; they're not going to miss the extra money you give to a Twitch streamer. Us streamers have got to make a living, and we've got to buy stuff off Amazon, so it all goes back to them anyway. It's the vicious cycle of life. What do you do? I'm a streamer. Okay. Where do you spend your money? On Amazon. How do you make your money? From Twitch subscriptions that come from Amazon. Don't spack out. We need to get out of here. We need to do this. If you interrupted my grandfather, he would tell you, if you shut your mouth and listen, you might learn something. He was right. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm like that with my kids, but I don't tell them. I normally just tell them to be quiet. You'd live a better life. Like my normal one is, if you actually listened, you'd have a better life. Because if not, if you listened, I wouldn't have to keep having to go at you. I wouldn't have to keep telling you off. You've been playing Avorion. Never heard of it. Got an early Christmas present from my nephew. Got the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that comes out in... Oh, cool, man. Nice. If I need something now with a reason, I just 3D print. Exactly. You're now solving your own problems with a 3D printer. That is awesome. So what you can do, and it sounds weird, every time you solve a problem with your 3D printer, take a photo of it and tell people what it does. Sell those designs online for, I don't know, 50p a design, and people might start buying them because it fixes a problem that someone else had. So that might be something. That might be a good way of you making a little bit of cash as a kid. There you go. First job. You're a 3D printing designer. Congratulations. Do you know your wife's favourite Final Fantasy game? She's a big fan of Final Fantasy 14, but that's because she plays online a lot. She is a massive fan. I think she's a really big fan of 12 because of the story. 13 she liked, and I think out of the two, Final Fantasy 8 or Final Fantasy 7, it's 7 for her. For me, it's Final Fantasy 8 just because I preferred it over 7. I like the story of 7. I just liked all the monsters in the card game in 8. It just made it a bit more interactive for me. And I like card games. I just don't really play a lot of them anymore. Despite being an older millennial born in 87, I grew up with a computer at home. One day because my mum worked for a tech company. Yeah, so you had a reason to have it. But you grew up in the 80s version of a millennial, so you're actually a bit more sane-minded. Oh, Jess is in chat. Avorion is a looter-shooter spaceship builder kind. Oh, okay. If you're in my Discord, which there is a link in the description box below, can you send me a link? Is my tracks about to go over the edge? Oh no, I'm about to fall. Let's not go towards the cliff, shall we? No, let's not go towards the cliff. I'm backwards. That's why I'm having problems with this. Right, we need to turn this round 180. Oh, I almost went over the edge again. Right, I'm going to leave this here just in case I do have to do one more, but I'm pretty sure this might be my last couple of buckets. I can't... No, I've fallen in the hole. That's not very good, is it? Get out of the hole. Get out where them. Right. Final Fantasy 11 is no longer. No. This is the problem with live service games. Live service games are a curse in a way, because once the server starts getting less and less populated, it still costs the people money to run it, so they shut them down. And then you're like, I just spent 15 years of my life doing this, and now it's gone. Yep. That's what all those people in GTA are moaning about right now. Like, all the old school players, like, well, I spent 5 years playing this. Right, cool. Now you can play the new one. What about all my stuff? Well, you don't get to keep it. You move on to the next game. Well, that's bullshit. I want all my stuff back. You can't have it. That's a shame, isn't it? You spent all that time playing the game, and it's like they've just added in a new business into, well, a couple of new businesses into Grand Theft Auto 5. So you can now own an auto chop shop where you basically do up people's cars and then you make some money. And then you've got like the new one, which is an actual chop shop where you're taking apart cars, or you do a mission for a car, and then you can sell that car for parts or the actual car itself, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, this is cool. But these are coming in now at the end of GTA 5's life. And I'm like, GTA 6 comes out in a year and a bit, right? 2025, GTA 6 comes out. Why do we need all this new stuff in Grand Theft Auto 5? think about what you're going to put into GTA 6. That's all they've got to do. You've already started a business with your 3D printer. I do 3D party 3D printing in school. That's cool. Do you get money for it? Because if you do, that's entrepreneurship. Congratulations, you're learning. The closest I had to 3D printing when I was in school was putting pasta on cards and supergluing it and be like, look at me, I made a decoration. And the last one, go on. Yeah, there we go. Mats are filled. I think we got to wait for the buckets to fill as well, because they were like, yeah, they're bad. Go on. 2 more %. I know I'm losing gold, but I don't really care right now. 99. $100. Excellent. Fantastic. Everything's full. We're good. You've already made a tenner. Well done, mate. Right, let's get this off. Oh no, I've got to do one more cleanup. I've got to go round again. I'm not going to have enough time today. Not now, but today I will when I'm home and I don't have to deal with the sprogs, but should be right. Right, so that's up there. That's good. Right, let's get the buckets out and we'll replace these, and then I'm basically nearly done. So tomorrow's live stream is going to be a little bit strange. I'm not going to be stripping this down. I might be starting in Nighthawk tomorrow. So today I literally have to do one more cleanup, get my money together, and then I'm going to strip down this whole place, and then I'm going to yeah, I'm going to go for it, I think. Get into Nighthawk. Maybe tomorrow might even be the setup of Nighthawk, where we're going to be like, I've bought this, and this, and we're all good. I don't think it's not worth doing a video, because it would just be tomorrow's stream. You guys just get to see where I'm at and what I'm doing, and then that's where all the money starts happening, because Nighthawk is so rich in gold that you only have to dig like in 3 different places, and then you just have to redo the area, and then you dig it again, and then you redo the area, and then you dig it again, and you redo the over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's the whole game from Nighthawk onwards. That's it, and then we'll be done. But I'm giving it as I'm not, as said, I'm not in a major rush, really, but I'm trying. I'm definitely learning more than I did last time. Like with this one especially, this map is like, the way I approached this, it could have been done a little bit different. Split basically gave us a couple of hints when it comes to digging with the drill, so I might put that into practice when it comes to Nighthawk. It's like, I need more money. Okay, drill a bit more and you'll be fine. I'm hoping that's going to be my only expense for a bit on Nighthawk. Like, get the drill gun, we'll go and drill, and then we'll be all good. But drilling is boring. I mean, it's like mind-numbingly boring. But I've got 6 days, so it'll be another day's worth of digging for me to get another load of buckets done, and then it's gonna be I'll sell everything off. Well, not sell it, but give it back because I'm renting, and then. Yeah, and I'm done. I hack the game in SP and play at 3 times speed while drilling. I don't worry about drilling. I just fall asleep. I don't fall asleep, but my brain just turns off. Because that's all I need to do. I'm not doing it at all. Like, if you're playing like normal play, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about it. I'd just whack it on 12 times and be done. But that's just me. But when it comes to like leaderboards, the way that I'm playing right now, there are certain things I can do to cut corners. I mean, I get why I'm spending a bit more time doing like cleanups and stuff, it's because I'm only using 12 buckets. I could use more, and I could basically just dig more, you know, and I get it, I understand. So I could dig for like 10 hours straight, do a cleanup for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then I'd be alright. It wouldn't bother me. But this is just how I've done this one. Like Nighthawk, because of just like Nighthawk in general, I think it could, I'm going to probably go down that route of buying more buckets so I can just dig more, so I don't have to worry about doing cleanups as much when I'm on live streams, and it's more just about just digging and just chilling out and just really turning off my brain. If I can work out how many buckets I need to actually just clean out Nighthawk once, like take all the soil out of the floor that I need, and then put it all into buckets, I will try and work that out. So I only have to buy, like, let's say the whole thing takes like 120 buckets. I want to keep digging until I filled up all 120 buckets, and then I'll clean it all up, and then I'll go and dig it again for another 120 buckets. And I only have to do one cleanup every, like, I don't know what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in game, because the days go really fast. But I don't think there's any way that I could really do that. So I think if I just aim for, like, I don't know, a 40 bucket cleanup, because that's normally a good way of me doing it. That's what I do in season play when I play on my own. 40 bucket cleanup, I think that'd be good enough, and then we just carry on. And 40 buckets sounds like a really good number as well. It's like, it's even and it's big, but it's not big enough to make you scared. Just the little mats to go. Go. No, I don't want to hold sluice. Put the sluice back. Don't need sluice. Emotional damage. I got Kerry into like saying it. No, she's annoyed at me. Yeah, I'll try and set up another scene, so if I do want to show anything on like websites and stuff, I can just pull it up and it'll be like done, and then I don't have to have double screen and all the other crud that I accidentally do to people. I'm so sorry that it happens. Oh, there we go. Oh, last bit, and then we're done. Oh. And then tomorrow's going to be the big. I think tomorrow's going to be the big stream. It's going to be like, okay, we're in Nighthawk now. Let's knock back a beer and chill out. Bit of popcorn. Oh yes. Oh, I don't drink. Well, you could have a milkshake. When am I on tomorrow? About the same time as I was today. So around sort of 9:30, 10 is when I seem to start when it comes to weekdays. And then on Friday, it's going to be. I'm probably not going to be on Friday during the day because of shopping, and because it's me that pulls the shopping up. And it takes me, I don't know, it takes me like 20 minutes or so to put and then do that, and I have to put it away and then everything else. It's like there's no point in streaming at that time because I don't know when they're coming. You know, the problem with like delivery people is like, we'll be here between this time and this time. Alright, cool. So for like the 3 hours that I'll be streaming during the time is that they could just turn up. And I'm like, I might as well just not stream in the morning and then just deal with it and then stream, you know, in the afternoon. I'm streaming in the evening on Friday, and then I'll go in the hole. There, that one. Well done. Do I really want to start another? Oh yeah, I have to start another run because it's like extra stuff. Right, let me just get all this done. Up. Is this empty? Is this empty? This is empty. Fantastic. That's empty, and that's empty, and that's empty, and that's empty. Brilliant. Let's run this quick, get rid of all the excess, and then we'll... I'm done. Go, go, gadget, go. So I've got like one more load to do, so I've got to do another like 5 truckfuls. That'll be my last one, because we're 6 days to winter. I'm not doing any more digging. We should hit around 2 point something million, which means I'm going to get rid of all of my equipment, and then I'm off the land. Am I still going to get charged rent if I'm not digging? Do I still get, if anybody's experienced, do I still get charged if I don't dig and get any more gold? Like if I get rid of if I get all my gold and it goes into money, I don't owe anybody anything, right? Is that how it works? Because I'll be skipping winter, and I'm going to be skipping permafrost because I'm going to be waiting for all the cheap equipment to come through. 1 day before permafrost, the last day. When you say yes, which part are you answering yes to? You pay for equipment, okay? Yeah, no, but if I get rid of my equipment, right? So all my equipment goes back to the hole. So it's not mine, it all disappears. If I don't dig, but not the land. Cool. So if I don't dig and I pull nothing out of the ground, I don't pay for anything. What do you think about Black Friday? It's a bit of a gimmick, really. It's how people sell you crap that you don't need. Some of it's all good for deals if you are looking for certain bits and pieces, if you need them, but you don't need to go out and buy a new TV if you've already got a TV and the TV that you're buying is on discount, which means it was crap. Workers, maybe. Oh, yeah. Well, workers, yes, because you'll pay for them anyway. But I'm saying, like, if I stop digging, I'm all good. Consumerism. Yeah, it is. Right, on that note, guys, I want to say thank you very much for kicking by. This has been Hybridsteel. If you have enjoyed this, hit the like, subscribe, and notification button below for all other updates. I will be back tomorrow for... I'm probably going to be at Nighthawk tomorrow, because I'm going to finish up this part of the season, which is like 5 dump trucks away, and then I'm literally going to empty out, clash out, and then all this is going to be gone, so I should be away from this. So it should start season 2 tomorrow, if everything goes to sort of plan. So that's all good. But still charges you for the dig. I'm not going to be digging there. It's all good. Thanks for the stream. Not a problem. I'll catch you all later. I want to say peace out. Have fun. Enjoy everything you guys do. Don't forget, if you want to become a member, become a member. If you want some merch, get some merch. If you want to join the Discord, there's a Discord link. It's one of the most quietest Discords in the entire world, but you might just enjoy the peace and silence. Until my next video, boom. Fist bump to you.